Alrighty guys, so today we got Carlton versus St Kilda, both top four teams at the moment. There was no late changes. Subs are Lockie O'Brien for Carlton and Marcus Winhager for the Saints. I'll keep an eye on the other game as well. So the game is about to start, probably about a few more minutes before it starts. Yeah, it's about 2 minutes from now. Level in the other game, both 57 each, 2 minutes into the last quarter. So we'll see who wins today. I've tipped Carlton for this game, so I think that I can win this one. It depends on who wins it. I think whoever can get it, if Carlton can get good ball use inside the forward 50, I think they can win this game. But St Kilda are the best defence in the comp, so we'll see how it goes today. Alright, so the game's about to start now. Both teams going into position. Last five games, St Kilda have actually won 3 out of the past 5. It's actually been in order. So St Kilda won in last game last year. Then Carlton and St Kilda, then Carlton and St Kilda. So top 4 clash between Carlton and St Kilda. Winner of this actually goes to the top of the table, and here we go. So still gets the clearance, kicks it long, spoiled well. Can't pick it up there, Stocker. Now taken by Sinclair, kicks it out nicely, finds Owens out on the lead. So now St Kilda can go through the back half, back to Sinclair, who works on the commentary side, wing out to Marshall. Great kick in the end, takes the mark, gives off the handball to Ross. Great movement from St Kilda early. Great kick from Ross, finds Gresham. And now Crouch goes inside the 450 with a great kick. And great mark for the returning Tim Membry. First game of the year for Tim Membry. They've sorely missed his appearance inside the forward 50 for the Saints. I'm surprised they didn't play him last week. They decided to play him through the VFL. And it may have cost him, in my opinion. But a great play there. And Tim Membry on the lead. Great start. We'll have a shot right in the forward pocket. Pretty hard kick for a right footer, but you give him every chance. So Tim Membry, 28 years of age, right in the prime of his career. First game of the year, right in the forward pocket. Kicks towards goal, hooks it more to the right. We'll go to the goal square. Comes across there, Jacob Wiedering knocks it out of bounds. So it'll be a throw in just outside, just right next to the point post. The St Kilda forward 50. So gets it out. Here comes Akers through the stoppage. Does well. Gives it off to Young. Back to Akers. Working in a little bit of a small area here. Gets the kick out of the 50. Great kick in the air. Mollop run over it though. Goes to Stocker. And Stocker kicks it inside the forward 50. It's a great kick. Good spoil though. Coming against his old side today, Liam Stocker. So now Carlton will clear out the back half. They kick out wide and they find Harry Mackay on his own. So Kilda won't mind him this far up the field. So it looks like they're going to switch the play here out wide to Lewis Young, and now they'll work through Wiedering. Well, not the best kick from Wiedering. He makes his teammate work for it, but he does mark it in the end. So now on the outer wing, Carlton to Newman. It looks like they're going to try and switch it again. So Carlton really can't get much run into it. They couldn't last week. They had a terrible start against the Crows on Thursday night last week. Had a long time to think about it. Terrible kick from Wiedering. And Membry causes the turnover. He goes long inside the forward 50. It's a one-on-one with Philippou. Great play there from Young. Keeps it on the ground. Does well. It's the handball out to Kennedy, who gets tackled immediately from Gresham. Great pressure from the Saints. There'll be a ball up inside the forward 50. Looked like Carlton were going to get out of there, but great pressure. Great closing speed from Jade Gresham. He locks it in. So the umpire throws it up again. Owens goes up in the ruck. Does well to bring it down. Young gets tackled well by Owens. Great work to work out of the ruck to go straight in and tackle. So St Kilda look on early. Carlton need to stay with them. Back in the ruck again. Pitnet knocks it down. Crouch tries to get the handball. That gets tackled well. Gresham gets it out to Ross. Ross out to Wood in career best form. Lobs it towards the top of the goal square. It's one-on-one. Great mark from Tim Membry. He's looking ominous early. On the debutant in Chinchota, just couldn't get to it in the end. And Membry takes a brilliant mark on top of the goal square and should be able to kick these first. So a chance here for Tim Membry to kick his first. He's already had the 2 touches. He's taken 2 marks. This will be for his first goal. He looks pretty ominous early, Tim Membry. He comes in pretty close to goal. Oh, he's missed it. That's a terrible kick. Tim Membry should have kicked that. Pretty much straight in front. 25 metres out. He's missed 2 points early. So, 2 shots early. He's kicked his first score of the game, though. 1-0. By the way, in the other game, Hawthorn have the lead by 1 goal over the Crows at the moment. That'd be a massive win for Hawthorn. So kicks it out of the 50. Not a bad kick. So now Carlton can move. So Mackay takes the mark. He goes in short and he finds, I think it's Newman. No, it's actually Chera. He goes in short and finds Ollie Hollands. Has had a great start to his career, Ollie Hollands. So just a little bit working it short and sweet down around the wing here from Carlton. Goes into Sam Walsh, who was probably one of the only shining lights last week for Carlton. So now to Newman. They're really not getting a lot of movement forward here, Carlton. But here we go. Gets the handball. Sam Walsh now off to Hollands. Hollands kick it inside the forward 50. First time they've been up there. 3-on-1 in favour of the Saints. And it looks like Charlie Curnow is going to get the free kick. That was poor defence there from Josh Battle. There was no need to grab on. Marshall was coming back with the flight to take an easy mark. He grabbed on to Charlie Curnow and he'll get a free kick and a chance to kick Carlton's first. Almost against the flow. It comes in. Oh, if that's a hold of the man, that's a shocking decision. I don't know about that. But Charlie Curnow will come in now. Kick the first for Carlton. Kind of against the flow early. Comes in. Kicks towards goal. And he's left it out to the right. So both 1 score each. Both behinds. So Jack Sinclair will take the kick out. Kicks it long, comes out of the square to get that easy disposal. Does well. Great mark from Hunter Clark. He's been pretty good so far this season. Works it inside with a very dangerous kick, and it was a very poor one. Turns it straight over. Now Sam Walsh has time to kick it inside. Long kick. It's a 2-on-1 in the Saints' favour. Great play there from Curnow to bring it to ground. Only goes as far as Stocker. Now Wilkie can work it out the back half. Does well. He was inspirational last week. Goes long to Wood and takes the mark. Now to Membry. Membry has looked very good early. He wheels around on the right, decides to give off the handball. Wanganeen Malera goes long with the kick inside the pocket, goes long to Marshall, can't take the mark, and it'll roll out of bounds. So it'll be a stoppage inside the forward pocket here for the Saints. So a little bit up and down football at the moment. Carlton have probably had St Kilda have probably had the better of the 2 teams so far. Almost a full packed house here at Marvel Stadium today. Pittner gets the grab, but always throws it. Now Hunter Clark out of the stoppage, kicks towards goal! Oh, Hunter Clark! What a great start from Hunter Clark. And he kicks the first goal of the game. St Kilda take the lead by a goal. Great finish in the end. Just kicked it out of the stoppage. And as easy as you like, the Saints take the lead. Great start for the Saints. St Kilda lead 1-1-7 to the Carlton 1 behind. The other game right now, with 12.5 minutes to go, Hawthorn still have the lead by 6 points. And it looks like it'll be a free kick to Hawthorn. Sorry. So I got my eyes on that game as well, because that's really close at the moment. And if Hawthorn win this game, it'd be pretty good, because Crow's been one of the most informed teams in the comp at the moment. There's still a lot of time. There's still 12.5 minutes to go in the last quarter. But great start here from the Saints. Coming up last week against a really hard game against Collingwood. Really wasn't the bet. Really were lucky to get a 6-point defeat in that game, to be honest. They've started off well here. So still will get the clearance out wide to Wood, and he drives it inside the 450. 1-on-1 with Membry. He's been a target early, couldn't take the mark. Brings it down to ground now. Carlton will click it away. 2-on-1 on the wing. Oh, up goes Mason Wood against 2. Does brilliantly to bring it to ground. Clark just runs it out of bounds. Nice and professional, but Mason Wood is in career best form. Even last week he played quite a good game against Collingwood. So we have throw in on the outer side. Forward side of the wing here for St Kilda. Knocks it down there. Give it a pit in it. And almost threw that there, Hewitt. Out comes to Akers. Gives it off to Walsh, who's had a few touches early. Kicks it long down to the forward 50. Silvani's been held there. We get the free kick. So Silvani get the free kick actually on probably centre wing now. He's got a couple of teammates running around. He gives it off to Sam Walsh again. He's been everywhere early. Not the best kick going forward. Mackay does well to gather it. Sam Walsh will just run it out of bounds. So Walsh is all over it early. I think he's had 2 or 3 touches in this game so far. He's had a brilliant start, Sam Walsh. So umpire will throw it in again. Pindit knocks it down. Akers gets off the handball. Great play. Hewitt off to long kick from Hollands. I can't take the mark there. Battle brings it down though. Oh, that was almost a throw. Silvani snaps around the body and the Carlton have their first. Great goal from Jack Silvani. And it's all square at Marvel Stadium. Great finish on the right there from Silvani. Pretty regulation goal, but he did his job and kicked it nicely. So back to 7-7 at the moment. So great start for both sides. St Kilda probably had the better of it early, but the Carlton are just doing very nicely as well. Sam Walsh has been very good in the midfield. Had a good game last week in his first game back from a pretty substantial injury. So now Carlton working inside the forward 50, gathered by Stocker nicely, gives a handball to a very dangerous Hunter. Gets Hunter Clark. It was probably going to get pinned for holding the ball there, but got tackled high there from Akers. So Clark will give off the handball quickly to Brad Hill. Pretty disappointing last week in my opinion. Goes long with the kick. Good spoil from the back there from Wiedering. Now Kennedy gathers it, gives it back to Wiedering. And Wiedering kicks it out wide to the wing. It's not the best kick, but Akers does gather it. Gives it off to Walsh. Back to Chera. Carlton doing very nicely. Not a good kick though from Chera. Great stop there from Stock. He's had a few touches early against his old side. Now Sinclair works it through the middle of the ground. Goes out wide. Good kick out to Gresham it seems. So Gresham, if he goes onto it, they're away here, the Saints. He goes long with the kick. Great kick, finds Membry. Top of the 50 now. He's got Crouch in the pocket. Decides not to. Plays on. Almost gets tackled from behind. Drives it to the top of the goal square. Up goes Cordy. Good spool from behind. Owens taps it down. Can't gather it there. Burns gets tackled without it, though. Played onto the call. Cordy gives it off the Crouch. Now Mason Wood in the pocket. Gets it smothered nicely. He'll go out of bounds. So great work in the end there from Carlton to pressure it up. But St Kilda inside their forward 50. It was unfortunate there for Mason Wood. He didn't have a right foot there. Really couldn't have got onto it, but Mason Wood did nicely. So now tacked it down. Fisher will get the clearance here outside the 50 here. Great gather there from Honey. He kicks it short. Great kick. Great mark there from Mackay. Great work in the end there from Carlton. He goes in short. That's not a good kick to Curnow. But he sprawled out nicely there from Callum Wilkie. So Hawthorn currently lead by 7 points over the Crows at the moment. 9.5 minutes to go in that game. So umpire throws it in. Pitnet knocks it down. Great work from Cripps. Gets tackled from behind there. Cowan probably got taken high there from Owens. Umpire doesn't call for it. Now Clark kicks it inside the forward 50. Not the best kick. Wiedering does well to get onto it. Adds some time. Kicks it. Little dinky kick. Not the best. Sinclair gathers it. Out to Crouch. Clark. Now Hill. So St Kilda just working it nicely on the wing here. Now they find Battle. He's got a bit of pressure on him from Cripps, but does well to get the kick away. Kicks it along down to the forward 50. Great mark from McGovern from behind. He was sorely missed last week against the Crows. Does well there. Breaks past the man on the mark. Kicks it long down to about 70 metres out. Kurnow gets 2. Takes a beauty. Great mark from Charlie. Kicks it long inside the forward 50 into the pocket. Silvani, will he get there? Umpire has called it on the full. It wasn't the best kick there from Charlie. And it'll be a turnover. So Brad Hill just goes in short, finds Battle. Now Brad Hill. He's got some time. Very creative with the football, but that's a terrible kick coming out. Not the best kick at all. Cherry goes into the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous kick, but Kennedy gets there, does nicely. And now at the top of the 50 now. 55 out. He's got all the options. Goes long to the top of the square. Great kick out the front. And Harry Mackay gets onto it. Dougal Howard not happy with his teammate there, not cutting that off. And Harry Mackay, not the best option. Looks to go in short. And a good kick finds George Hewitt. Not a noted goal scorer, George Hewitt, but when he was at the Swans, he was a pretty good kick at goal. So he's about 40 metres out now. Looks like he's going to get off the handball. Silvani to kick it from the top of the 50. Oh, that's a wasted kick. He could have gone for his second, but he's missed it very wide and almost lucky to score in the end. So Carlton take the lead for the first time. So now Jack Sinclair out of the back. Hasn't got too many options, so it looks like he's going to work it onto the commentary side wing here. Long kick will go to Owens. He can't get onto it. Kennedy brings it to the ground, but Hunter Clark again. He's been everywhere early in this game. He kicked an early goal. Socket off the ground there from Wiedering. That looked like it came off of St Kilda's boot, and they've paid deliberate. Oh, that's a shocking decision. That came off the St Kilda player's boot, and it's been called deliberate against Wiedering. That's a shocker. Owens goes long with the kick. Wiedering comes from behind. Nice spoil. Walsh on the ground does nicely. Gives off the handball to Cripps. So now Carlton can work it back forward. Down centre wing. Long kick. Can't get there. Mackay knocks it out of bounds. And Hawthorn have just taken a 13-point lead over the Crows with 7.5 minutes to go. Fergus Green just kicked it. So that's a big one there. Oh, no. All right. That is deliberate. To be honest, he kicked it off the ground, but it caught his foot, so he didn't get the kick where he wanted it to, but nonetheless. Tap down there from Lewis Young, but Owens gets the handball. Nicely off to Brad Hill, who kicks it long down towards the 450 for the Saints. Cordy does well to work in front of Kennedy, but gets out the back and Kennedy will just run out of bounds. So a very contested game early in this one. We've seen Carlton lead by 1 at the moment. 10 minutes basically have gone now. 10.5 minutes to go in this quarter. And Carlton have a 1-point lead. So, balls it up. Owens has taken a lot of ruck contests early in this game. Knocks it down to Steele, who gives off the handball to Hunter Clark again. Kicks it inside to the forward pocket to no one in particular. And it looks like it will be not a bad option there. It'll be out of bounds, so I'll throw it in the forward pocket here for the Saints. Marshall has hardly rucked a lot of these contests early. I'd like to see if he's injured or not here. Because he's hardly seen the ruck contest so far. Looks like he's going to contest for this one. So the ruck contest comes in. No, it's Zane Cordy in the ruck. Oh, Lewis Young's just punched that towards the boundary line. They don't usually pay these deliberate. Don't think it will be, but another throw in. So another repeated stoppage. Crows just kicked a point. 12 points down at the moment. So 10 minutes to go in this first quarter. So umpire throws it in again. Cordy in the ruck, taps it down. Only as far as Ross, who's in the pocket. Doesn't have a right foot though. Good tackle there from Hewitt just to bring him over the line. Nothing untoward there. Another stoppage inside the 450 here for the Saints. I think they've been the more dominant team in this first quarter, so they do need to kind of put it on the scoreboard here. So the umpire throws it up. Hewitt gives off the handball to Young. Oh, great smother there from Ross. Knocks it out again. So they've been in this right forward pocket for at least a minute here with about 4 forward stoppages. Oh, we knocked out of bounds, so another forward stoppage here for the Saints. So umpire will throw it in again. Cordy in the ruck. Knocks it down there. I think Young again, to be honest. Now Walsh will get to this one first. Good shepherd there from Cowan. Walsh has some time. Plays it around with a couple of teammates, but then kicks it long. Long kick up to Mackay. Good spill from behind there from Dougal. Oh, no, it was high. So looks like the Carlton will get a reprieve here. Mackay will have the free kick. Kicks it inside. Great kick in the end. He finds Chincotta for his first touch as a Carlton Blue. First AFL game. Not the best kick at all. There was Nick Newman coming out of the back there. Great work in the end from McKenny to stick his head in the hole. Gets the free kick. Long out wide. They're away here, Carlton. So now Fisher has some time. He had Curnow on the left. It was Ed Curnow, but decides to go longer to Charlie, is it? Or Harry Mackay. Can't get down there. Now battle on the ground. Gets a small handball out. Doesn't do much with it. Does well in the end there, Owens. And now Burns will kick it out wide. Great kick. So now St Kilda are away. Philippou gives out the handball to Gresham. He does gather it. Oh, what is that from Jay Gresham? That may be the worst kick in AFL history, that one. He's just slid off the side of his boot and rolled out of bounds. Obviously not deliberate, so umpire will throw that in. He had a teammate all on his own about 20 metres in front of him, and he just dinky kicked it. Shocker in the end, and it will roll out of bounds. Centre wing here on the interchange bench side. So umpire throws it up again. Now Ross gets out the handball. Oh, that was a throw. Oh, I don't know about that decision. Hardly had disposal. Oh, no, it was against Ross. That's a good call. So Cripps will take the ball. Kicks it short, Chinchotta. Good kick in the end inside. He finds Kennedy. And now goes out wider. So they're working backwards here, Carlton, but they're trying to switch the play. So Wiedering. Nice little kick out wide there. So they don't have much movement forward here, Carlton, but they're working slowly. So Hollins takes the mark. He's got Ed Curnow in short. Decides to hold it. Doesn't look like they have too many options here, Hollins. But in the end, he does just drive it long. About 60 metres out from Carlton's goal. Battle goes up, can't take it. But Howard almost threw that out. Now tackled well there is, looks like Steele. Oh, got stopped in the head there. Now Mackay gives off the handball. Honey gives off the handball now. And now Walsh in the forward pocket. Weird kick. Stocker does well. Gets tackled, Durden. Durden does well to tackle Stocker over the line of a boundary throw in. Inside the forward pocket here for Carlton. This is the first stoppage they've had in quite a while inside the forward 50. So currently Hawthorn lead by 10 in the other game. Marshall takes it out of the ruck nicely and just kicks it away. Good play there for Rowan Marshall. 1-on-1. Owens almost pushes his opponent out of the way there, but umpire doesn't call it. Now Higgins works it forward to Cordy. There's not many people in front of him, so he just has to wait for it. Gives off the handball nicely to Philippou. Not the best kick from the young man. And now Chinchotta cuts it off nicely. He's looked pretty good early. Gives it off to Kennedy. Now Hewitt. And now Hollins. Breaks past the tackler. Now Carlton are away on the wing. McGovern has a short option. Decides to go longer to Harry Mackay. 1-on-1 with Dougal Howard. And Mackay does nicely. Great work there from Harry Mackay. Takes a brilliant mark on Dougal Howard. And he can go back and kick his first here. If him and Charlie Curnow could get in form towards sometime this season, they could work into that combination as good as Tom Hawkins and Jeremy Cameron as we've seen so far. And they could honestly push for a premiership, these two forwards. They could take Carlton to the promised land. And a great mark there from Harry Mackay. So he comes in. Harry Mackay to kick his first. He looks pretty nice. Harry Mackay kicks Carlton second. And Carlton take a 7-point lead. So despite St Kilda probably being the better of the two teams so far, Carlton have a 7-point lead. So currently 9 points in the other game. Taylor Walker is going to be setting it up. Inside the forward 50, across comes Ned Reeves. I'll just commentate this one for a second. So it's inside the forward 50 here for the Crows. Scholl almost threw that out. So they're in the forward pocket. Rankin from the pocket. No way! Isaac Rankin! He kicked it! Oh, what a brilliant goal. Isaac Rankin just kicked an absolutely brilliant goal here. 3 minutes to go in the last quarter in that game. Absolutely unbelievable game that going down at Tasmania at the moment. No one would have thought Hawthorn would have any chance against the Crows, who have played brilliantly this season. But back to the other game now. Pittman knocks it down. Cripps can't gather. Marshall kicks it forward. Couldn't grab that one there. Hill now crouch. Gets pushed in the back there from Chinchotta. Umpire doesn't call for it, so play on. St Kilda do get the advantage though. Hill. And now Ross streaming towards the forward 50. Kicks towards goal, Seb Ross. Not the best kick, but Tam Membry in the pocket. Umpire calls for a throw in. Didn't take the mark there, Membry, unfortunately. I can't be out on the full. I think you play that mark, though. That should have been a mark there to Tim Membry. But the umpire's called for a throw in here. So forward pocket again here for the Saints. St. Cordy can't knock it out. Cripps works hard. Now Hewitt does nicely to kick it out of the side defensive 50. Up goes Durden. He can't get there. Silvani does well. Here goes Kerno. Great work from Charlie. Gives it off to Fisher. Got some pace. Kicks it on his right unpreferred foot, but it actually may work here. Does well there, Mason Wood to work back. But now Ed Kerno has some time. Kicks it over the top of his shoulder. Honey, if he gets a good bounce, he won't get onto it, but falls to ground here, Dougal Howard. Honey picks it up. Gives it off to Fisher. Sapsaw's goal! Wanganeen Malera on the last line of defence. Knocks it through for a behind. So now Carlton looking pretty ominous early. Another behind though. It's an 8-point lead to the Carlton at the moment, but St Kilda have the ball now on centre wing. Crouch gets tackled though. Does well to get the handball away. Filippo gets tackled by Cripps. That should be holding the ball. And umpire calls it. Young man couldn't break the dangerous tackle of Paddy Cripps. And now Carlton can work through. Inside, great kick. Finds Chinchotta. Had a few touches early, as we've said. Akers tries to kick it towards the forward 50, but only to Wanganeen Malera. So he goes in short. Stocker in short again to Crouch. And now they can work it through the Saints. Wanganeen Malera works it out wide. Good kick. Finds Gresham. He's got Filippo on a handball. Not probably on his preferred side. So gives it back to Gresham. He can kick it inside to Membry. It's a good kick. And comes across there, Rowan Marshall. And takes the mark. Which really, that should have been Tim Membry's. But Marshall now. Kind of settle the nerves here with the Saints. Carlton have dominated the past few minutes. So Rowan Marshall. I think I'd rather Tim Membry have the ball, to be honest. But he's had 2 shots at goal so far, Membry. And kicked 1 behind and 1 no score. So Marshall does have a chance here to kick St Kilda's second. In the other game, actually, 3 points to difference. Hawthorn lead, and Darcy Fogarty's coming in. But meanwhile, Marshall comes in to kick his first. Not the most known goal kicker for St Kilda. Brings it back nicely, though, the big man. And Rowan Marshall kicks the goal. St Kilda get their second. Marshall gets his first. He's been a great ruckman so far this year, Rowan Marshall. Now taking the sole role as the ruckman. Does brilliantly there, finishes the goal. Carlton lead by 2 points. Great finish though from Rowan Marshall. And in the other game, Darcy Fogarty has kicked that goal. So Hawthorn now down by 3. With 1 minute and 15 seconds to go, the Crows up by 3 points. Great finish from Darcy Fogarty in the end in the forward pocket. He's a dead-eye dig. He's a dead-eye kick. And he absolutely nailed that one from the pocket. Didn't even go around the body. But still a minute to go, and it's going to go in the centre of the ground. So there's any chance of Hawthorn getting one. 4 minutes to go in this first quarter. So umpire throws it up again. Pitnet knocks it down. Walsh gets onto it. Does nicely to get out the handball to Cripps. And then over top to Pitnet. I think I'd rather someone else trying to go onto it. In fact, Cripps picks up his own handball. Runs it towards the forward 50. Long kick. Up to Kerno. Can't take the mark. But he will get the free kick, Charlie. And he'll get the free kick here. So now, Charlie Kerno to kick Carlton's third. So Kerno gets wrapped around the net, or grabs around the body, goes in for goal now. Charlie Kerno kicks the goal, and Carlton go back to that 8-point lead. Great start from Carlton. They're looking the goods early, Carlton. Looking a lot more dangerous than they did last week. Started this game a whole lot better than they did against the Crows. 30 seconds to go in the other game, by the way. I'll probably commentate the rest of it. So Hardwick gets the ball, gets off to Amon. Goes long with the kick inside the 450. If Hawthorn can't take the mark. On the ground, Impey gets it smothered. Oh, the Crows get it away, though. It's a long kick. It's a dangerous one. On the ground, does nicely there. Warple kicks it in short inside the forward 50. Jaff goes up, can't take the mark. Scrimshaw around the body. The bounce is important. Can't get it down. Hits the ground. 6 seconds. Murray gets tackled. 3, 2, 1. And the Crows, I think, have got away with it here. Looks like the Crows are just going to get away with murder down in Tassie. The ball goes up. Ned Reeves knocks it down. And the siren goes. The Crows have won by 3 points. Great win from Adelaide in the end. So back to the other game now. Chera breaks the tackle, but not of Gresham. Should be gone. And is. Great work from Gresham. So he gets the free kick in the middle of the ground. Has a couple of options. So goes out wide to Marshall. Good kick, takes the mark. So 3.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Marshall decides to drive it long inside the forward 50. To the forward pocket they've loved so far in this first quarter inside the right-hand side. Higgins gets it on the ground, does nicely. Gresham tries to soccer it off the ground. He can't get there. Membry runs hard. Now Crouch. Over to Mason Wood. Should kick that goal and does. Career best form Mason Wood. And he kicks a brilliant goal on his left. Suddenly this game's opened up a little bit in the second half of this first quarter. Back to 2 points. Great work there for Mason Wood. So in the other game, guys, the Crows have just won by 3 points in an absolute thriller down in Tasmania. Just pulled off the win there. Hawthorn were gallant, but couldn't pull it back in the end. So the umpire will bounce it down again. Marshall, looks like you get the tap here. Only done as Chera. Chera does well to get the handball out to Hewitt, down to Walsh. So great work there from Carlton. Akers out wide, and now, just through handball, have worked it out to the wing here, Carlton. So now Chera has a chance to kick it. Nice little kick there. Mackay can't grab it, though. Takes Hunter Clark. Should have been a free kick. But great work in the end from Harry Mackay to bring down his opponent. It'll be another ball up. The umpire will throw it up once again. Pitting it to Marshall again. Comes through. Marshall tries to take it out of the ruck. Almost gets tackled without it in the end. Akers tries to grab it. Great tackle there from Crouch. Wood gets it out. Now Gresham. Gets tackled well there by Chinchotta, but gets out of the handball somehow. Brad Hill kicks it inside the middle of the ground. It's actually pretty dangerous, but it may work. Higgins can't gather it, though. Gets scared out of it. So now Walsh works it out wide to Akers. Does well to break out of the tackle there. Hewitt. And over the top there, Kennedy. Nice little kick. And actually works it out nicely. And finds Sam Walsh out onto the wing, out of side. So we had 12 touches in this first quarter. Sam Walsh had a brilliant start to this game. Definitely bringing back the form that he had late last year. So now Carlton going a long way towards the forward 50. Go out back to Jacob Wettering, last line. So now Young has a chance to kick it inside the forward 50. With a raking long kick up to Charlie Curnow. Gets it on the ground, though. Charlie steps around the body on the left. The bounce will matter. Doesn't bounce through for a goal, though. Taken through for a rush behind. So it will be another... So now St Kilda will be coming out of the back half through Wanganeen Malera with a pretty nice kick in the end. Does want to come back with it there. Ollie Hollins spoils it, but only as far as Membry. Gets taken in the back there from Newman. Should have been paid. Umpire doesn't pay it, though. Over the cross now to Hollins. Now Durden's got some options inside with a pretty dangerous kick. Not the best option, though. Sinclair just gets the clearing kick out to Owens, who goes up. Great mark from Owens. He's been very good so far this season here for the Saints. He goes in short and finds Patton. It was pretty good last week, Ben Patton. And he goes long. Pretty good kick. And actually makes it look very nice there. Tim Membry takes the mark on the wing. Doesn't have too many options up forward, though, so he just has to wait. Now goes long. Oh, it's not a very good one. It's a 2-on-1 here. Chinchotta, McGovern goes up, can't bring it down. Now Higgins on the ground, gets the handball out nicely. Gresham should goal. Slaps around the body, and he's missed. Wasted opportunity there for the Saints. He should have kicked that one there, Jay Gresham, on the left. So it looks like Carlton will take the kick out here, from which is coming from Mitch McGovern. Doesn't have many options, just goes in short and finds Young. He's been inspirational back there this year for Carlton, in my opinion. I think he's been up there with Jacob Wettering. He's played brilliantly. Goes long down the wing here. Very long kick. Up goes a couple of Saints. Can't take the mark. Crouch gets tackled well there from Curnow. Now Durden works well on the ground. Out well there by Walshing. That was his 13th touch of the quarter. And now Durden gets away. Gives off to Chera. And now Hewitt works it inside the forward 50 with a great kick. Actually just takes it outside the forward 50 there. Mackay almost gives 50 for that one. Has some time in Mackay. If he just takes his time, could find a good option. He's got Ed Curnow in short. Decides to wait. Goes long to the forward pocket. And it's a terrible kick. Jack Sinclair works back and takes a nice mark. So now Wilkie goes long on the outer wing. It's a 3-on-1 here in favour of Carlton, and Harry Mackay takes the mark. And it looks like that will be quarter time. Carlton have the lead by 2 points. They lead 3-4-22 to St Kilda 3-2-20. Just bring up the statistics for everybody. Yeah, so in the other game, guys, the Crows have pulled off a massive victory against Hawthorn. It may not have been massive when you think of the stages, but the fact that Hawthorn stayed with them the whole game and they just pulled off a win late. Desi Fogarty, the hero in the later stages, kicks a brilliant goal from the pocket. Toyota. Alright, so we'll just bring up these now. No. Alright, so let's have a look at the main ball winners at the moment. Like we said, Sam Walsh had a brilliant start to this game. He's had 14 touches leading all comers. Then we have George Hewitt with the 11 touches at quarter time, Chera with 10, Sinclair with 9, and Jay Gresham with 9. And the fantasy scorers on the board at the moment. Harry Mackay leading all comers with 52. So working up the ground quite nicely and has kicked a goal. Also, then we have Sam Walsh leading disposal getter on the ground. He's got 48. Jay Gresham leads for the Saints with 43. Owens with 38. And then Rowan Marshall taking out the top 5 with 38 as well. So a good start there from Carlton, but very close game so far in this game. Just see if we've got the subs up here for the other one. Doesn't look like we do. Doesn't look like we're going to have the... Doesn't the game start at 6? Sorry, 4:30? Didn't it start at 4? Yeah, the teams should be out. Oh, it says maybe they are. Alright, hang on, let me have a look. In the other game, yeah, they are out now. So, no late changes in the Gold Coast North Melbourne game. Subs are Bailey Humphrey for the Gold Coast, and North Melbourne we have Liam Shields. No one cares. adverts, eh? Fucking hell, I don't care. It's a good start from Carlton. They lead by 2 points at the moment. St Kilda definitely keeping with them quite well. They had a good start to this game. But Carlton did get on the top late in that first quarter. But Tim Membry's definitely started off well in this game. Probably been St Kilda's best player, in my opinion. Probably with Gresham and Owens. But yeah, best player on the ground so far, in my opinion, is probably going to be Harry Mackay. He's played brilliantly so far. Sam Walsh is up there as well, though. So the umpire will throw it up now. Start of the second quarter. Carlton lead by 2 points. So umpire bangs it down, knocks down nicely. Now Cripps gets the handball from Chera. Now off to Akers and kicks it long. So inside the 450 now for Carlton early in the second quarter. Up goes Battle and Kerner. Both got hands to it. Umpire doesn't call for it. So Wilkie gets out the handball to Stocker. Had a good start to the game, Liam Stocker. Kicks it long. Up goes... It was Ross. Couldn't take the mark. Kennedy out to Cripps, who can't get onto it. Gets knocked off the ball there, Stocker, though. And now Chera gives off the handball. Free kick will go to Chera, though. The Chera will have the free kick. So about 55 out from goal. He's got a short option in Blake Akers here. He's still open here, Akers. So Chera gives off the kick nicely, and it's a great finish. And Cripps will take the mark. Inside the forward, probably about 45-degree angle, so I wouldn't say it's in the pocket, but Paddy Cripps, always been a little bit iffy when shooting towards goal at set shots, but a chance here to kick Carlton out by 8 points. What was that free kick for? Oh, that was a weak free kick, but anyway. It was a free kick to Chera, I thought it was, but anyway. He kicked it inside, found Cripps, and now Cripps a chance to kick his first, in the first of the second quarter. Cripps comes in, fades to the left, and it'll be a behind. Poor miss in the end from Paddy Cripps. He should have kicked that. So Sinclair from the back, kicks it long out to the wing on the outer side. Up goes Filippo, can't take the mark. Does well there, Marshall. Just kicks it long, really to no one in particular. In the running now, it's Owens in a one-on-one. Does well, but does even better there, Young. McGovern gives back the handball. Good pressure, though, from the Saints over the top. Higgins, Hill couldn't see it. Gets tackled without it there, Higgins. Should get the free. Umpire doesn't call for it. Now Hewitt, and now Carlton are away. Hewitt goes down, though. Grabs his Achilles. I think he's okay. Yes, he is. So now Akers gets the ball short into Fisher, and Carlton see off that little push forward there from the Saints. So Fisher has a couple of options down the wing. It's holding the tightrope of the line, but finds Cripps. Hasn't got too many options, but he does have a nice little handball option over to Akers. Pretty poor manning up there from the Saints, and kicks it inside there, Akers. Does well there, Marshall to get across from Pittonet, and now Burns has some time for the Saints. Great kick in the end. He finds Filippo. And now he hasn't got many options inside the forward 50, other than, it looks like Butler, but it's a terrible kick. Mason Wood does well to keep it in, though. Butler breaks the tackle. Great play there from Cowan. Held that tackle actually nicely. And he gets pinned holding the ball. Oh, and this isn't good to see. Mason Wood's clutching at his ankle right now. And someone who's in massive form at the moment. It's not good to see. He may actually just be winded, because he's also grabbed towards his stomach. But now Fisher works it out the back. Gets off the handball to Cowan. And now it's not the best kick. Great mark in the end there from Burns. He's had a good start to the second quarter here, Burns. Runs off towards the forward 50. Not the best kick, but Butler will gather it. Has some time. Looks inboard. Kicks it inside. It's not the best kick. Zane Cordy up against 2. Couldn't take it. And then Chera takes the mark. Good news for Saints fans. Mason Wood is up and running away. Not convincingly, but he looks okay now. Looks like we just have to run it off. So maybe it was just being winded. But now Carlton have a chance to get out of there. Out towards the wing. He finds Akers. So Akers will have the ball now. On the back flank, decides to go long with the kick. It's up towards to Pidnet. Oh, and he's fumbled it. Did he mark it, though? Umpire does say he did mark it, so Pidnet does take it, goes back again. There's been a little bit of this today, Carlton. They've done well with it, though. They have been able to move from side to side and go back to go forward. So now Wiedering goes out wide and he finds Cowan. I think it's Ollie Hollands. And he kicks it inside with a very dangerous kick. And great work there from Higgins to cut it off. Now the Saints can work it forward. He gives off the handball. Now the Saints can work it inside the forward 50 with a great little kick. Finds Butler. He keeps on going. He goes to the top of the goal square in a one-on-one. Kennedy's got to go. He doesn't hit the ball, though. He got very lucky. Mason Wood didn't get onto that, and it rolls out of bounds. Well, Kennedy did very nicely to get back, but he completely missed the ball. And he got very lucky that Mason Wood didn't get onto that. So forward pocket stoppage here for the Saints. We saw a lot of this in the first quarter. Owens knocks it down but can't get the gather. Butler overruns it. McGovern tries to turn out of a tackle. Gets tackled nicely there from Zane Cordy. And it'll be a ball up. So umpire throws it up. Again, Owens has taken a lot of the forward stoppages today. Cripps gets tackled almost without it, but does get the handball away. Now Akers gets the clearing kick outside the defensive 50. Up goes Marshall, can't take the mark. Gets spoiled almost by his own teammate. Does well, though, there, Wanganeen Malera. Gives it off the hill, and now Stocker kicks it inside the forward 50 for the Saints. It's actually a pretty nice kick. Philippo should have marked it, though. Gets out the back, and now Wiedering, and now Carlton can work it away through Newman. Has a few options on the outer wing. Not a good kick, though. Sinclair read it nicely. Has time to get onto it, and gives a kick backwards to Ross. Good kick in the end. He's actually got Marshall on the top of the 50 and Jack Steele. But he's calling for the long kick, though. So, long kick here from Ross. Goes to the forward pocket. Up goes a couple of players of 16. Filippo can't take the mark. Butler picks it up nicely, though. Snaps towards goal and kicks it. Great play there from Filippo. He didn't take the mark, but he brought it to ground. Gave a contest. And St Kilda had to take the lead in first goal of the second quarter. Great play there from Filippo. Only in his 5th game, but just able to see there that he was the only one who could have gone up for that mark. Read it nicely, didn't take it, but he put all the pressure on the Carlton defenders when bringing it to ground. And then Butler with the easiest of goals. But you marked that one down to Filippo. Did brilliantly. And great, actually, well, that was a great read there from Butler as well. But great play from the Saints. It was a great read from Butler, and that was one of the big points of coming to St Kilda to get more game time. He lost his spot late in 2018 from the Richmond side, where he did get a premiership medallion in 2017. But now Carlton will get the clearance. Ollie Hollands, he finds Ed Curnow. Not really seen much of it in this first quarter. Goes long inside the forward 50 to Charlie, his brother. Can't take the mark, though. But it looks like he's going to get the free kick. And Carlton have got a lot of free kicks in this first half inside their forward 50. So Charlie Curnow will get the free kick here for Carlton. So to kick his second, I think. This is for his second goal. Comes in Charlie, snaps around the body and kicks the goal. So Carlton take the lead back pretty quickly. I think that was a pretty tough call against Callum Wilkie, but umpire makes the decision and it's out by another 3 points. So Carlton take a 3-point lead early in the second quarter. Great play there from Charlie Curnow to get the free kick. He's kicked 2 now. He's kicked 2 behind. So we could have had a pretty good start here against Cal Wilkie, who's arguably been the best defender of the season so far. But Charlie Curnow now moves to equal second on the Coleman medal leaders at the moment, behind the in-form Jeremy Cameron, who's on 27 at the moment. And he is on, if he continues his average throughout the season, he will get 100 goals. But back in the ruck now, Cripps does get the clearance, but only as far as Hunter Clark. Now Clark will get the true clearance out wide. It's not the best kick, but the bounce does favour the Saints. Up goes Kennedy to bring it to ground. Butler does well to keep it in, but gets it smothered nicely there from Kennedy. And it'll be just 70 metres out from the Saints' goal, will be a throw-in. This will be a good game, I think, Liam. You'd be impressed by the Saints this year, have you? So now Pitnett knocks it down. Cripps gets tackled well there from Crouch. Hunter Clark does find it out of there somehow. Wood drives it towards the forward 50. Gets past Zane Cordy. Great play there from Ross. Gives it off to Butler, who dribbles it towards goal and kicks another. Great finish from Dan Butler. I thought maybe he messed it up going across the ground, but he does nicely and kicks a brilliant goal. He's kicked 2, and he's looked good early here, Dan Butler. So the Saints take the lead back. Great finish from Dan Butler along the ground. And he's got 2. And both of them are in the second term. It was a great pick up there from Ross. Gave the handball off to... Oh, that was so close to the goalpost. Just watching the replay there, that was one more bounce away from hitting that post. But he got lucky enough for Dan Butler. Rolls it through and St Kilda take the lead. So umpire will drive it back down again. Owens has gone into the ruck now. Pitnett does take the advantage there, does nicely. Gets tackled there. Hewitt almost taken high. But the umpire will call it back in. So Owens has had to take the second ruck roll today. He goes in the ruck again. Pitnett knocks it down. Can't gather it there, Hollands, but does get it there, Cripps, and now a clearance there from Fisher. Long towards the 450. Great mark from Charlie Curnow. He could get 50 here, and he does. Really unsure why Battle went in for that second touch on Charlie there. And he has a chance now, and he should really kick his third here, Charlie Curnow. Don't know about that there from Josh Battle. He did give away the free kick. Oh, sorry, he did take the mark there, Charlie, but then just went in for an extra grab at him. I don't know what he was thinking. But now Charlie Curnow, we're about 20 metres out. Slight angle, comes around the body and kicks the goal there for the Blues. Gets them the lead back, and it's been up and down. Both teams have taken the lead in the second quarter. And now it's Carlton back to that 3-point lead. I think it's almost time to put Dougal Howard on him now. Or Cal Wilkie, because he's already kicked 3 now, Charlie Curnow. And Battle, I don't know if he can stay with him. I think Cal Wilkie's a better option, to be honest, to go to him. But I don't know. I'm not a big Saint. I have watched the Saints a little bit this year. And Josh Battle did have a brilliant game last week against Collingwood, but I just think that if he didn't really have to play on a man, per se. And Ross Lyon was not impressed by that there from Battle. We're back in the middle now. Again, now both teams have got the second rucks in there. Owens does well on the ground. Gets the handball out to Sinclair, who kicks it forward. Not the best kick and turned over nicely. Now Chera kicks it towards the forward 50 now for Carlton. One-on-one's in there. Great mark from Battle. Does nicely. That was better from Josh Battle. Takes the intercept mark. And now St Kilda can work it on the commentary side wing. Short kick now. Goes to Steele. Now Steele doesn't have much options. He's been pressured out of it there from Paddy Cripps, who just sockers it off the ground towards the forward pocket. This could honestly be deliberate. There is no one in front of him. And the umpire paid it. I think that was... Oh, no, it wasn't deliberate. Sorry, I thought it was deliberate. Sorry. So, umpire throws it in again. Young gets it down, and Steele takes Paddy Cripps high. So this will be a free kick to Paddy. And a chance to kick his first. He had an earlier chance in the second quarter, and he missed. This is a little bit further out here, but Jack Steele just looks a little bit out of it at the moment. He's definitely a better player than that, and he just took him too high there, Paddy Cripps. Was always going to be paid. So Paddy Cripps, a chance to send Carlton out by a 9-point lead. And the first time in this quarter to kick multiple goals in a row here for Carlton. So now Cripps comes on in. He's a long way out. It's going to take his best. But Cripps kicks towards goal, comes out to the right, and he's kicked it exactly where he ran to. Lucky to score, gets through further behind. So short kick out wide. Oh, he gets taken high. That could almost be 50 there. But great mark in the end from Patton. Gives it off immediately, straight to Wanganeen Malira, who's done well early in this game, as I say that. Is that a mark? It is just marked there from Zane Cordy on the line. Must have been a lick of pain in it, but he does take the mark there, Cordy. So now Cordy works it on the outer wing. Long kick. Up goes a couple of players. Wiedering can't take the mark. Does well on the ground there. Crouch. The handball was too hot, though. And now Walsh gets out the handball to Hollands, who gets tackled immediately. Crouch out to Phillippo. Spins around. Does nicely. Gresham off to Stocker. One more handball and they're out here, the Saints. Steele gets out to Gresham. Now Crouch. They're still working inside a phone box-sized area here, the Saints. And they only dribble it forward. Tackled well there from Owens. That should have been gone. Umpire doesn't call it, though. Young got tackled and dropped the ball on the ground. That rule's been thrown out the window, dropping the ball. But anyway, so it'll be a forward stoppage here for the Saints. They had a lot of these in the first quarter, not so much in the second. Throws it up. Now Young knocks it down to Walsh. Down an underground handball there from Hewitt is nice. Nice little play there from Cripps. Back to Walsh. Back to Cripps. Someone's got to kick it away. He does. Gets it smothered, though. Hollands gets tackled almost without it. We'll get the free kick in the end. So Hollands will get the free kick here for Carlton. Hasn't got too many options. Decides to go backwards. Oh, it was a dangerous kick. Almost got cut off. Now works it out wide to Chera. Comes on the bounce, but he has time to gather it. And now finds Wiedering. And Carlton can go here. If he gets this over the top, they're away. Short, nice little kick over to Akers. He's also got a player on the wing here. I think he completely missed him. Went in nicely short there to Walsh, who's starting to gather a little bit more in the second. Had 14 in the first quarter. Short to Chera. Umpire calls play on. A bit rough on that call, but he goes in short to find Akers. So just past the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. I got a bet on the St Kilda to win the first half. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. That'll be interesting. Long kick, not the best one. Marked well there by Dougal Howard. So great work there from the Saints to cause the turnover. In short, finds Stocker. He's done pretty well against his old side so far in this game. Stocker doesn't have too many options to go to, so it looks like he's going to have to work it out wide. Pretty nice kick as well, though. Finds Steele, who's been pretty quiet in this first quarter. In this first half. Great smother there from Silvani. Causes the turnover here for the Blues, and he goes long. He finds Harry Mackay. It's only one-on-ones inside the forward 50 for Carlton. Kicks it long, and it's a shocking kick. Straight over to Cal Wilkie. And he doesn't need any help gathering touches like that. And a terrible kick in the end. Miscommunication there from Carlton working forward. So now Wanganeen Malira works it out wide. On the bounce, though, to Burns. Does well to gather it, though. Goes back, and now Carlton can just settle it down a little bit. So Battle takes the mark. Oh, God. Terrible. Just hit the kick there for Wanganeen Malira. Made it look a lot better than it was. So now Carlton, now St Kilda, just holding it a little bit here. Haven't got too many options. Decides to bomb it long. Towards the wing. Up goes Marshall. Can't take the mark. Does well on the ground there, Gresham. And now Butler breaks through. Does nicely. Gets off the handball to Higgins. He has some time to work it. Kicks it long inside the forward 50 towards the goal of the goal square. Now Membry! Great mark from Tim Membry. And surely he gets his first right now. He's just at the top of the goal square. The umpire's caught him around a little, but it shouldn't matter. Akers almost got back there, but a great kick there from Higgins, and Membry takes the mark. So Membry should be able to come around the body here, snap a goal, and does. St Kilda take the lead back. Great work there from Tim Membry. First goal of the year for him in his first game back. And Carlton back down again. Yeah, St Kilda on the attack. Great goal from the Saints there. Oh, shit. Right back. Great work there from St Kilda. Just burst out of the stoppage, out of the play there, Butler, and just had a median amount of space there for Higgins to kick it long towards the top of the goal square. Silvani couldn't work back. Akers almost got back there. But a great mark in the end. There from Tim Membry working back. Takes the goal. Kicks the goal. Pitting it out of the ruck. Does nicely. Knocks it down to Hewitt. Down to Chera. Now Walsh off to Kennedy. And now St Kilda have some... Carlton have some time to kick it towards the top of the 50. One-on-one up there. Silvani almost grabs it. Can't get there. Motlop picks it up. Has some time. Gives off the handball. Pretty poor one though. Durden can't gather it. Honey does well to worry him out of it. Gives it off to Motlop. Now Walsh gives it nicely to Fisher on his unpreferred right foot. Kicks it towards 50, and that'll be 50 here for St Kilda. Motlop gives away a stupid 50. That was obviously going to be paid. And now Hunter Clark will be moving towards the centre of the ground. So 7.5 minutes to go in the second term. Hunter Clark will take the ball. Takes on Walsh, does nicely. Now kicks it towards the top of the 50. Up goes Membry. Can't take the mark. Well done from behind Wiedering. Does well there Butler to get the handball away. Now does well there Cordy. Gets tackled nicely from Cowan. Almost dropped that one. Doesn't. Play onto the call. Now Fisher just dribbles one outside defensive 50. Mackay does gather it nicely. Has some time. Then kicks it backwards. And just tells everyone to take a breath. Goes short. Finds Newman. Now Kennedy, it's a dangerous kick, but finds Walsh. He does nicely, kicks it out wide to Silvani, and he takes the mark. So Silvani has some time, just under 7 minutes to go in the second term now. Looks like it's probably taking the first deep breath they've had in at least a few minutes for both sides. Goes long with the kick, but Dougal Howard reads it nicely and causes the turnover. And now the Saints can go through the middle of the ground. In short, he finds Sinclair. Over the top now, finds Ross. He can give it off to Wanganeen Malira. Probably should have. Decides to kick it long. All on his own is Filippo. And the Saints will have a chance to kick another. Great work in the end from Seb Ross. I thought he should have given off the handball to Wanganeen Malira running across. But actually caused a little bit of movement on the mark there from Kennedy. Which actually made it an easier kick there to find Filippo. And a chance now for St Kilda to take an 8-point lead in the second quarter. Filippo comes in on the left boot. It's a shank of a kick. Got smothered off the boot. Now Kennedy does well to get off the handball. Marshall almost dropped it in the end. Cowan gets down, sat on it. Could be in trouble here. Umpire circling. And it'll be a ball up. How long has the quarter got? 6 minutes. So umpire throws it up. Cordy knocks it down. Does well in the end there. Cripps to tackle Ross. Looks like it'll be another stoppage. It will be. Umpire throws it up again. Knocked down by Pitnet. Does well. Carlton to get it out of there. Akers with the clearance. But that's going to go out in the fall. So St Kilda will drive it back inside the forward 50 here. With Stocker, it seems. Yeah, Stocker will get the kick. 5.5 minutes to go in the second term. Doesn't have too many options, Stocker, so it looks like he's going to drive it towards the top of the goal square here. Up goes Mason Wood, can't take the mark. On the ground, Higgins tries to get a high one. Umpire doesn't call for it. Akers gets off the handball. Chinchotta does well there. Gresham against Walsh. Gresham finds a little handball out. That's a steal. Hasn't had much in his first term. Snaps towards goal. Jack Steele fades away. Burns in the pocket, can't take the mark. And it rolls through for a behind. So behind there for the Saints, really worked hard. It looked like it was going to go through there for Steele, but just faded late. 3 points the difference now. So it goes in short here for Carlton. Young will get the kick outside defensive 50. Mackay probably should have marked it. Now Howard offered to Wood, who kicks it inside the forward 50. Up goes Wiedering. And it looks like that will be out of bounds. No, it was a mark. They've paid that. How long is the quarter? It's 25-30 minutes. Yeah, it goes for like 20 minutes, but there's obviously stoppage. So every time there's a stoppage in the game, like a ball up or out of bounds or whatever, the time will stop. So there's 4.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. So now Walsh, he's had a lot of touches in this game, and he will gather it now here for Carlton. Still on defensive side of the wing here, defensive flank here for Carlton. Hasn't got many options though here, Sam Walsh. St Kilda have done very nicely to block off any avenue to work it forward, so he's going to have to switch the play. He finds Newman. He goes out wide. Good kick in the end. He finds Akers. Akers back inside. Good kick. Finds Chinchotta. Back to Newman. Carlton just working us slowly up the ground. Great kick in the end. He finds Ed Curnow. So 4 minutes to go in the second term. Ed Curnow has the ball on centre wing. Out of side. Kicks it short. Good kick. Finds Silvani on the lead. Great work there from Silvani to give him an option. Hasn't got many options here, Silvani. So it looks like he's just going to go to the top. The tall timber up forward. Long kick. Up goes Mackay. Almost grabs it. Can't bring it down. Walsh gets worried out of it nicely. Great tackle from Owens on Motlop. And it'll be a ball up. Forward 50 here for Carlton. He's had 8 touches in the last 10 minutes, Sam Walsh. He's had a brilliant second quarter. Gets the kick out there. Howard, not good enough, though. Pitnett reads it and will take the mark. 70 metres out, he'll drive it back inside the forward 50 here. Decides to give off the handball. Now Newman. Kicks a short little dart inside the forward 50, but it's a terrible kick. And only hits as far as St Kilda's defender in Patton. So now Patton kicks it long down the wing. It's not the best kick. It's only as far as Owens, who goes up, gives a contest and will roll out of bounds. 3 minutes to go in the second term. St Kilda lead it by 3. So umpire throws it in. Pitner knocks it down to Chera, who can't quite gather it, but does get onto it in the end. Kicks it towards the 450, up at the pack. Mackay can't bring it down. Does well there, Durden. Carlton should get one back here, and does. Great finish there from Corey Durden. And Carlton take the lead back. Great finish from Durden in the end. Did well to read that ball off the spoil, and Carlton take the lead. With only 2.5 minutes to go in the second term. Been a great game so far. Just free-flowing football. And it just... No team has been able to get in front by more than 10 points in this game. Great way there from Durden just to get the goal. Could have got it smothered there, Stocker. Just couldn't get there in time. So throw it in the middle now. Hewitt gets out the handball. And now Pitnett gives it off to Cripps, who kicks it inside. Long kick. Just won't make the 50. Great work from Stocker to find it in front. Couldn't take the mark, though. Gets off the handball to Hill. Now we get it back to Hunter Clark, who wheels around on the left with a pretty poor kick, to be honest. Goes only as far as Kennedy. Now Pitnett and Newman. Great little handball and finds Chinchotta. Has a chance to kick it forward. Decides to give off the handball to Chera, who does kick it forward. Inside the forward 50, not the best kick. And takes the mark there, Ben Patton. He's done nicely. He's played on, though. Oh, dangerous. Oh, short kick. Oh, dangerous kick. Not the best one at all. And now Cripps causes the turnover here for the Saints, for Carlton. Gives off the handball to Newman, who kicks it inside the forward 50 with another terrible kick, but Mackay makes it work. Great mark there from Harry Mackay. And a chance now to give Carlton the biggest lead of the match, which is 9 points. He will have to kick it straight, though. No around the body from here. Harry Mackay. He's had 10 touches in this first half. He's only kicked the 1 goal. A chance to kick his second. So Harry Mackay comes in. Kicks towards goal, and he's left it out to the left. It's a behind. So Wanganeen Malira kicks it out. Goes to Mason Wood. He's got an option on the wing. It is Higgins. He has to give him a little bit more of a better option than that. Decides not to go to it. Only just over a minute to go in the second term. Kicks it down the wing with a pretty nice looking kick and gets spoiled out though. Nicely there from Chera. Just over a minute to go in this first half. Carlton lead it by 4. 7 lead changes in this game. It's been very close and in tight. So the umpire now will throw it in. Marshall's been beaten well here by Pitnett in the second quarter. Cripps tries to grab onto it. Owens does well to get onto it. Gets tackled well by Hewitt, almost without it though. Now Wood just drives it forward inside. Great play there from Membry, just charged at it. Kicks it inside the forward 50. 2-on-1 in favour of Carlton. Great work in the end there from Akers to get back and give support to the defence. He goes out wide and he finds Durden. Durden kicks it in the middle of the ground. That's a very dangerous kick. Does well there. Chinchotta to take the mark though. Chinchotta didn't look out wide though. It was a poor... He had an option on the right-hand side, but decides to kick it on the outer side. Finds a teammate who does take it in the end. Doesn't have many options. Harry Mackay just goes in short and finds Durden. 20 seconds to go in this first half. It looks like Carlton are just willing to take a 4-point lead into half-time. Goes along with the kick. It's actually a pretty nice one in the end. Akers takes the mark, and they may get another one here, Carlton, late. He wheels around on the right. He's got a big raking right foot here. Akers goes to the top of the goal square. Up goes Wood, who takes it. He's taken that. And there it is, half-time. Carlton take a 4-point lead into half-time. Great game of footy at the moment. So Carlton lead by 4 points at half-time. We'll just bring up the statistics and then we'll go into half-time. So all Carlton are the top ball winners at the moment. The ball winners at the moment, Sam Walsh with the 22, he started off brilliantly, along with Adam Chera, he's got 21, Akers with the 20, Cripps with the 19, and Hewitt with the 16. And the best fantasy scorers at the moment, we have Sam Walsh with the 76, Harry Mackay with the 74, Chera with the 73, Akers 71, and Cripps rounds out the top 5 with 70. Alright guys, we'll be at half time, we'll come back for the second half.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast, episode 7 now. We just went through Gather Round, which was round 5. Absolutely wonderful week in my opinion. I think it went pretty well. Today we actually will be kind of reviewing Gather Round, but here in South Australia I think it went off without too much of a hitch, to be honest. I think it was basically everything all South Australians were asking for, and yeah, we've also got here Jack or Jackpot Junkies over on Instagram. What did you think of Gather Round?
I think it was a great concept. It was nailed pretty well by the South Australian government, and pretty good results in the end for most of the games. And obviously now we've got it until 2026, so pretty happy about that as well.
Yeah, so I think they announced it at the before the Collingwood St Kilda game, and practically 99% of the crowd were pretty excited about it. There were a few boos that I heard from a couple of supporters around, but I think that was just from Victorians who were having a whinge. No, I think it went very well. I think we'll just sort of review how it went. So basically, now that we've got it for the next 3 years, I think it's going to go even better.
Yeah.
In the next few years, there were a couple of things that I was a little bit disappointed about. One of them in particular, I think the entertainment that they had for the main acts of the entertainment, they had Peking Duck on Thursday night, and on Saturday night they had the Veronicas. I think the Veronicas was very good. I would almost give them a 10 out of 10. They went out on the... I don't know if it was televised on television when the games came out.
I think it was for a bit.
Oh, it was? Okay.
On it.
But basically, if you were there, it was pissing down rain on Saturday night, and they had a stand to stand on. What was it? Like a stage to stand on, and they had to pull that away because it was so wet they couldn't stand on it. I think it would have been they could have tripped over, so they had to do it on the grass. And those two came out and sung their songs, and they were very good. And I really liked the part when I don't know their names exactly, but one of them said, "Now everyone please stand for the national anthem," and they just sung their main song that the Veronicas sing. So I would have given them a 10 out of 10. Peking Duck, I think, were pretty good. The first couple of songs they sang, I didn't really hear a lot of it. I don't know if that was the audio around the ground or if it was them.
I think it was more because they had fireworks and all that. You couldn't really hear over all the...
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of the first game, I think they were just trying to work out the kinks, because if you're at the game, you would have noticed a lot. If you looked at the scoreboard, you couldn't actually see the time on the scoreboard, and you couldn't see much of the scores to begin with because the scoreboard was so low on the big screens. You couldn't see it. But they did work it out throughout the week. The one problem I had with it was if you're at the games, you would know they had the hype crew, and my God, you could that needs to be gone for next year. That was a 0 out of 10 for entertainment. They had these like 6 dances or whatever, and I mean, look, they may have been pretty talented, but it was just so annoying that they started yelling out, "It's the hype crew," and then they'd have 6 people standing there dancing to the songs. It's like, I would rather you sit there, play the songs over the loudspeakers while waiting for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's just pre-game entertainment that they have at grounds in general is always a bit shit, but every single time they came out on the ground, the crowd basically went into a lull. They were like, ugh, they're out here again. And they were out there all day. So I get the AFL had to do something for it, but I felt like it was just a bit crappy. I thought that was pretty lackluster entertainment. But the games, I think, went off really, really well. The games at Adelaide Oval, which were the ones we went to, all of them all had hype around it. The crowd was absolutely amazing. Nothing that you'd never really experience it again, or you wouldn't experience it anywhere else. Sorry, because you had different teams. Everyone was wearing their colours. Like there's different teams. Like even when you went to like a Sunday game for the West Coast and Geelong, you saw people wearing Sydney gear. You saw people wearing Essendon gear, Port Adelaide. You would never see that happen again, and I don't think it would happen in any other state. How well it went off. What else was there? The games outside of Adelaide Oval, the 2 games at Norwood they were brilliant games. They went to the last minutes, really. The Fremantle game and GWS. The game at Adelaide Hills, it was a bit of a lackluster one because Brisbane just dominated, but the ground looked very nice. There was the one game on Saturday where it wasn't pissing down rain. But yeah, I think the entertainment that they had outside of the ground sounded like it went pretty well. We didn't really see much of it.
No, we were more interested in the actual football, but
there were a lot of stuff.
I can get the gimmicks that people would love to see.
Yeah, I think that honestly, if we had to round it all out, I think if you wanted to go, if anyone who was watching this was thinking they wanted to come to South Australia next year, now that it's South Australia, also like this gather round was only planned for 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So the way that the South Australian government, how South Australia got together and made it such a spectacle in 5 months, it's just amazing what they could do in a whole year. I think they could get big acts to come for every single night at Adelaide Oval. I'm surprised they didn't. I know they only did it for the South Australian teams, but Friday night when the Swans and Richmond played, there was a bit of a lull before the game started, and when the game did start, obviously that brought a lot of hype towards it. But yeah, I feel like they could have done some acts on those 2 nights as well. So they could obviously get some really good Australian acts for those sort of rounds.
Yeah.
And yeah, if anyone is thinking of coming together around next year and they saw it on television and thought it was a pretty good idea, but wanted to wonder, I don't know, how South Australians thought it was, I thought it was absolutely amazing. I would have given it probably a 9 out of 10. Like, considering it took so long, like, it was such a short notice. South Australia really got around it. All the crowd atmosphere was insane. Like, every single game, the Crows game, that was just a huge atmosphere to start off, gather round. And the final game, St Kilda and Collingwood always gets a big crowd no matter where they are, and it was just a great atmosphere for every single game. So, I would have given it probably a 9 out of 10. Some of the entertainment stuff I wasn't too impressed by. The hype crew, that was just terrible. That's just, I don't know if that's just pre-game stuff in every ground. Like, I've been to a few games, we've been to a few games in Victoria, and it's always a bit meh. At Adelaide Oval, sometimes the pre-game entertainment's a bit freaking terrible. So, yeah, that was a bit trash, but the hype crew especially. But the big acts of Peking Duck, I thought they were pretty good, and the Veronicas, I think, were absolutely, like, they were insane, really. Considering they went out there in the pissing down rain, sat there and sang their songs, or I don't know, well, sang their songs and did a brilliant job, and the whole crowd was standing there, like, singing on with the songs in pissing down rain. I mean, I don't think you get that many in many other places.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'd give it about a 9 out of 10 as well. Like, you got to think, like we had people around us that were Carlton supporters from Perth. You had people from everywhere come to the one state. It was nailed pretty well. Like,
yeah, I mean,
the entertainment was a bit. You can say people may have liked the hype crews and stuff. It was more. Yeah, that was more for the.
Yeah, I don't even know who would like it, to be honest. I think you're being a bit generous. I think they were fucking dreadful. But anyway, yeah. So overall, I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10, and I think next year it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah.
I think if you are planning to come over, I'd say definitely get on it, get on the ticket straight away, because I think this year it took a bit of time to sell out the tickets. Now that we've seen a whole year of how well South Australia can do with it, I think it's going to sell out pretty quickly. And honestly, I think I know it's something you won't see like happen. Like, you'll never see a bunch of people who not only like were, supporting different teams, but they were all so happy to be there. I didn't see any sort of like fighting or any sort of stuff. I know there's some people, South Australia has a reputation for having like feral crowds. I didn't get that one bit. I thought from the Port game to the Richmond game to Collingwood, everyone was there celebrating for their team, and they were just happy to be there, happy to sit there and watch footy and be there for every single game. And plus, it was so like inexpensive. It was like $70 to get 6 games worth of tickets at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
So if you got the money to get flights over to South Australia, I'd say 100% do it. I think next year is going to be bigger and better, and South Australia does also have the reputation as like a pretty boring state, but I think we knocked it out of the park this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone's willing to come to South Australia, I'd say 100% go. It was a great day, it was a great weekend, and I think it's just going to get bigger and better. So yeah, I'd say 100% get on it, guys. But yeah, obviously with the games this week, I think we had a lot of games got quite close, maybe into the last quarter. Then a lot of games blew out a bit, but obviously the first game was the one that was like built up the most. Was Adelaide versus Carlton. Carlton were undefeated going into it. The Crows were in good form, and after the Crows just blitzed them in the first quarter.
Oh, like I said, that they have one of the most potent forward lines, but I'm not going to deny that because I tipped it as well. But I'm not going to deny it.
Well, I thought Carlton may have broken the duck they've had at Adelaide Oval, but sadly they didn't show up in the first quarter.
They never got off the plane.
They never got off the plane at Adelaide Oval, and that really cost them in the end. I mean, they stayed around that 20 to 30 point mark for a majority of the game after that first quarter blitz from the Crows, and eventually the Crows just ran away with it late.
Yeah, they broke them in the first quarter, and they stayed around, and then it was
that was basically gone.
It was gone.
Yeah, so the 3 votes, I gave 3 votes to Jordan Dawson. I think he was best on ground. I think he's definitely found his spot in the midfield now for the Crows. I never really saw him be looking like he could be a midfielder, but he does have the body type for it, and a good thing for him as well is the fact that yes, he'll be able to get clearances with his big body, but when he does get the ball and he has a little bit of time to use it, he's going to hit his target inside 50. So I think, even though I'm a little bit annoyed that Sydney lost him, I think they should have done a lot more to keep him, but nonetheless, I think the Crows have definitely got a good choice there. 2 votes I had to give to Rory Laird. I thought he had a really good game as well. He's been up and down so far this season, but he definitely shone on Thursday night. And the 1 vote I gave to Darcy Fogarty. I think he kicked 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah,
he dominated against Carlton. And Mitch McGovern was a late withdrawal in this game, and I think this is they definitely took advantage of this because
Plowman shouldn't even be in that team. He's that bad. Like, he can't defend, he can't kick, he can't do anything.
Yeah, he definitely wasted a lot of opportunities in that game.
They just dominated out of the midfield. It was just pretty much tap from De Koning, and it would just go to the Crows, Dawson, Laird in the forward line.
Yeah,
about 4 or 5 times without even Carlton touching him. It was kind of bad in that first quarter.
Yeah, and to be honest, probably their best midfielder for Carlton, which is a bit disappointing, was Sam Walsh. His first game back, and he was probably their best midfielder.
Yeah, and that's saying something. He was one of their best players.
Yeah, so it was very disappointing, I think, for a lot of Carlton fans as well. Like, we were sitting next to a couple, and they were enjoying the game as well, but they're very disappointed to see how Carlton didn't show up. So I was pretty disappointed to see that as well. But after that, we got to Fremantle versus Gold Coast. This is the first game at Norwood Oval, and this one turned out to be quite a bit of a spectacle towards the end of it. The Gold Coast had a lead for the majority of this game, but Fremantle caught back, and I mean they kicked 100 points, which I don't think many people would have expected. They're pretty. By no means do I think Fremantle back, but they did well and they caught back in the second half to get their second win of the season. And I mean, being 2-2 at the moment, it doesn't look like it's in a terrible spot. I think there's definitely a good 12 to 13 teams now who could definitely make finals.
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk about that after our tips. We'll talk about like because I mean we're through a quarter through the season now, so I think we can kind of make a little bit of predictions about the season so far. But yeah, so with the 3 votes, I gave the 3 votes to Caleb Sarong. He looks like he's definitely launched out of this season. They definitely did need someone to stand up because Andy McGrath looked like he was being the lone hand last year. But Caleb Sarong looks like he stood up this year, so I gave him the 3 votes. 2 votes I gave to Michael Walters. I think he stood up a couple of weeks this season. 2 of the 4 weeks this season, he's actually played really good footy. So if he can find his form and kick some goals, I think Fremantle do have a chance of making finals, but they have got to start finding goals from other places. And the 1 vote I gave to Noah Anderson. He was definitely by far the Gold Coast best player. And he wasn't by far. I think David Swallow had a pretty good game. He kicked 3 goals. But I think Noah Anderson needs to have some more players going with him. Took Miller's probably started quite poor, not poorly, but he's definitely been middle of the range this season. I think he just needs to lift a little bit, and he needs a lot of people to come with him because Stuart Dew's job, I think it was one of the journalists, Damien Barrett or something, said this week that the next month will decide if he keeps his job.
I don't think he does, sadly, but
yeah,
they don't have any depth in the midfield. Once the rotations go through without Rao, Miller, and Noah Anderson, they don't have anyone. Like Flanders was doing it during the preseason. I have not seen him do it once this season in the actual home and away season to go in midfield. He hasn't done it once. It doesn't look like it. And
Jack Lukosius looks like he may be coming on, but again, he needs to be. I think he still needs to be a high forward wingman. I think that's his role, but. It's just I don't think he gets enough of the ball to really.
He needs to be lethal. He's lethal with the 10 to 15 that he gets, but he needs to get 15. He needs to get closer to 20 for Gold Coast to go to that next level of finals.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people were expecting them to maybe make finals this year or at least be very close. And currently they're 17th on the ladder, and. Only being beaten by a VFL, only being held up from 18th by a team who's basically rolling out a VFL team every week in Hawthorn. So I think Stuart Dew, they won't give it that. He'll probably keep his job till mid-year at the very least because the AFL coaches don't usually get sacked like maybe an English soccer coach can get fired in 6 weeks.
2 weeks, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that Stuart Dew will get fired soon, but I think in about 2 months' time, Gold Coast will be looking for a new coach. Yeah. After that, we get to Richmond versus Sydney. Sydney did play very, very well in this game, and if anyone looked at the Instagram and saw the fact that the Victorian media had the gall to put the headline of Papley kicked 6 goals against injury-riddled Richmond. Get fucked. Sydney lost over 1,000 games worth of experience in that game against Richmond. I think they lined up the youngest team from gather round. Richmond should have won this game on paper. Sydney came out to make a statement and say we are not going to fall over, and they did just that. And I got to give kudos to Sydney because I did tip them, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Richmond came out and flogged them, to be honest, because Sydney had so many defenders out. They were playing Callum Mills in the back half. I did say this before the game to my brother that Sydney are going to basically have to play Callum Mills in the back line to compete tall. And the only person who stood up in that game was Jack Rewald. He kicked 4 goals and kept Richmond in the game. Richmond performed for 1 quarter in this game, and they did that last week against the week before against the Bulldogs. And the only reason why they stayed in the Bulldogs game was because of that quarter, and the only reason why they were even close in the Sydney game was because of that 1 quarter they played. I think Richmond. I think you said this as well. I don't think Richmond will make finals.
No, I don't think they will. Like you look at,
they've won 1 game this season.
They've won 1 game, and again, like the Victorian media, they think that there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. Have you seen their game plan, their game style? It was really noticeable if you look at the actual 3 quarters the 3 or 4 quarters they played against Sydney. Didn't
It was
look
dreadful
good.
footy.
It was dreadful.
They were
footy.
using the ball. They were using the ball fucking terrible.
Yeah,
going
and
forward.
the way they're
Oh, Shea Bolton giving away that 50-meter penalty in that third quarter or early in the fourth.
It was the third. He just
They were just starting to come back in this game. They're only a goal down at 3/4 time. And Shea Bolton gives away a free kick, which was obviously there.
Yeah, and then he just shoves him.
Then shoved one of the Swans player on the ground, gave away 50.
Alright guys, so back to the second half now. Just about to begin. Carlton lead it by 4 at the moment. Probably been much dominant side in a lot of cases at the moment. If you missed the first game, the Crows just pulled off the victory against Hawthorn just by 3 points. A late goal to Darcy Fogarty won the game for them. And in the other game that started just a few minutes ago, the Gold Coast lead 12-0 against North Melbourne. Must-win game for the Gold Coast Suns. North Melbourne, big game for them because Todd Goldstein's 300th is today. So, they'd like to get a win for him, of course. Pick a side where you want to go, Butters. Come on. Pick a side. Go for it. Okay, guys. Third quarter is starting up right now. Umpire bounces it down. Marshall, I think, needs to lift a lot more in the ruck right now. Does get the handball out, but the clearance is from Walsh, just sock it off the ground. Does nicely to Hunter Clark to get the kick away. So now it will go out wide and goes to Mason Wood. He's got some time. Leans nicely. Great kick in the end. He finds Seb Ross, and they've got some time here, the Saints. Goes in short with a short kick. Just makes the distance and just grabs it there, Butler. So he takes the mark and he'll kick it inside. Nice little kick. He finds Jack Higgins. No, it's actually Brad Crouch takes the mark. He kicks it in short. It's another great kick. Higgins couldn't get there, though. Great little handball out wide, Cowan. Gresham causes the turnover. Snaps towards goal, and the Saints get the first goal of the second half. Great finish in the end there from the Saints. And a great finish there from Jay Gresham. Great pressure from the Saints. Carlton's lack of pressure there was not good enough. And he's probably been one of St Kilda's best today, Jay Gresham. He gets his first goal of the game and a great finish in the end. So short kicking just went inside, and Cowan actually poor handball. I think I called it was actually a good handball. It was a poor one. And then Gresham cut it off, kicked towards goal, and as easy as you like, the Saints have the lead. And another lead change. I think it's the 8th lead change of the game now. So umpire will bounce it down again. Marshall can't get it down, does well hitting it, but it's only as far as Ross, who just kicks the clearance out wide. Going back with it is McGovern, does nicely, off to Chin Chotter. Had a really good start to his career. Gets the handball nicely, gets pushed in the back. Umpire doesn't call for it. Hollins kicks it out long. Can't get the kick air. Silvani taps it down to Ed Kerner, who gets taken high. Umpire doesn't call for it, so Silvani will kick it long inside the forward 50. Motlop goes up way too early. Almost pushed out of it there, Kerno. Battle gets tackled. Gets tackled without it. Motlop gets the gather, kicks it inside. Great little kick over the top of Sinclair. And Chera takes the mark, plays on, kicks the goal. And Carlton take the lead back. Great play there from Motlop. Kicked it inside. Had a pretty quiet first half, but does nicely there. Sets up an easy goal for Chera. And Carlton cause another lead change. I think it's the 9th lead change of the game so far. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's the 9th lead change. And no team has kicked consecutive goals in this match, I don't think. 1, Carlton, St Kilda, Carlton, St Kilda, St Kilda. Okay, so St Kilda are the only team in the game so far who have actually got a consecutive goal. This game has been brilliant so far, living up to all the hype that it was throughout the week. I'm sure maybe a couple of people would have thought this game may have just gone to crap. But this game has been brilliant from start to early in the third. And a great finish from Adam Chera. Back in the middle now. Cripps tries to get the clearance. Tackled well there from Crouch. Cripps can't get it out. Just sits inside, bumbling around. Eventually gets out to Walsh. Chin Chotter again. Brilliant handball. Finds Hollins out wide. And he goes long with the kick to the top of the 50. Can't take the mark there. Mackay comes across. Now, picks it up there, Honey. Has some time. Gives it over the top to Motlop. Motlop gets tackled. Well, we're in battle. That should be holding the ball. Gets away the handball somehow. Kerno to Charlie. Kicks it towards goal. Oh, Blake Acres did the team thing and let it go, but it rolled through and just missed. Great tackle there from Battle. He's had a hard game so far. Did well there to put on pressure on Motlop, but Carlton should have really got one there. And now St Kilda working on the outer side to Owens. He's had a brilliant game so far. Had a brilliant season, the young man. Kicks it long towards the forward pocket. Will it land inside? It just lands in. It'll bounce out of bounds. Soccer just went back with the fly. He's lucky he got up in the end. So the umpire will throw it in again. Membry will take the ruck inside the forward line. They don't like to have Marshall in the ruck down forward, which I find surprising. Now Owens over top to Hill. Higgins out to Wood. Can he get onto his left foot? Good tackle from Kerno. Snaps towards goal. It's coming! It's coming! And Butler drops a simple mark. Should have marked it in the end, Butler, but it just rolls through for a behind. And now it's back to a 4-point game. So now Carlton work it out wide. Good kick, and he finds Cripps on the commentary side wing. Works inside here. It should be play on. It should be play on. The umpire doesn't call it, though. So Cripps just kicks it in short. Nice little kick, finds Chinchotta. He's had a lot of ball in this game so far, Chinchotta. Goes in back to Newman. And it looks like Carlton are going to work it on the outer side to McGovern now. So now McGovern doesn't have too many options, so decides to go back and finds Newman. If the bounce obliges, they're away here, Carlton. He goes in short now, Newman, with a pretty poor kick. Great pick up there. Great read from Dougal Howard. Gives it off to Brad Hill. He's got time. He's got space. Gives out the handball now. Burns can kick it inside the forward 52. Membry, in fact, it's Butler, and he takes the mark. He plays on, though. Goes to the top of the goal square. Here's Tim Membry. He can't take the mark, though. Owens off the ground. I think he got a foot to it. Did Owens get a foot to that, though? Was it before the line? We'll have to listen to the umpire here. Umpire has said it's a goal. So we'll have to see if Owens got his foot to it just before the line. I think it definitely got his foot, but did it get before the line? Owens comes through. It's hit the bottom of his shoe, and that will be a goal to St Kilda. He didn't get a flush boot on it, we'll put it that way, but he definitely got a foot to it. And St Kilda get the lead back. Great game of footy here. St Kilda get one back, and it's back to a 2-point lead to the Saints. Great play in the end. Carlton have got to get that through, though. That was poor from Carlton's defence to not get that one through. And St Kilda have the lead yet again. Goal for goal in this game so far. There's only been one time in this game when a team got multiple goals, and that was the Saints early in the first quarter. Since then, it's been goal for goal. No sub has been used as of yet. Sam Walsh definitely has got the most ball on the ground at the moment with the 24 touches. Highest disposal getter on the ground for the Saints is 15 with Jack Sinclair. But it shows you don't have to have all the disposals in the world to be in a game of football. If you're working as a team, it can show. And Owens just got his foot to that one. Knocks it down. Walsh can't get onto it. Does well there. Hewitt, actually no, poorly handled. And now Marshall will kick it long. Didn't have much of the ball in the second term. Not the best kick. Young drops an absolute sitter. Membry working hard to get onto him. Not the best handball from Young. Only to the toes of Hollands. Makes it look so okay. Back handball. Horrible handball. Suicide handball to Newman. And now St Kilda calls the turnover. Still gets tackled. Should have given off the handball. Could be pinned here. And he is. Great tackle from Paddy Cripps. Just looked a little bit slow today, Jack Steele. Maybe he could have used another week on the sidelines, but he's definitely came into a hot game today. So Cripps goes in short, he finds Hollands. Back to Young. He's got Chinchotta in short. Oh, Young's played on. So you want to be careful here. Just drives it long on the commentary side wing. Pidnet should have marked it, dropped it though. On the ground, almost dove on it there, Wanganeen Malira. Durden gets in there and it'll be a ball up. So throws it up there. Pidnet tries to knock it down. Crouch gets the handball out somehow. Steele. Handball really to no one. Only as far as Walsh, who runs through, gets the ball back. Cripps back to Walsh. Couldn't get onto it. Pidnet finds the ball though. Cripps gives it off to Chinchotta. Does nicely. Looks composed in his first game of football. Gives it off to Cripps and now Hollands drives it long. Tries to go towards the 50. Kerno runs out and takes a brilliant mark. He sees his mate and Mackay decides to go longer to Silvani. Great work from Wilkie on the ground. On the ground now is Patton, who gets tackled, gets out the handball nicely. Stocker. And now Hill has a little bit of time and space. Kicks it long down the wing. Nice kick. And finds Brad Crouch. So now Crouch has some time. Kicks down the wing. Great kick to find Cordy. Been pretty quiet today, Zane Cordy. Fighting to keep his spot in the side. So now goes long with the kick inside the forward 50. It's a great kick. Marshall just can't get his hands to it. Now, great spoil there from Young. Off to Akers. And now gives it to Pidnet. Pidnet's got some time. Great play from Pidnet. Just breaks the tackle. Gives it back to Akers and he drives it inside. Great kick to there to Silvani. And that'll be 50 against Cal Wilkie. Poor play from Cal Wilkie. May have been the worst thing he's done in his whole career. He's given away a stupid 50-metre penalty there, Cal Wilkie. And now Silvani from about 10 metres out will have a shot at goal to give Carlton back the lead. So Cal Wilkie just had a bit of a brain fade there. Don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was trying to do. He's trying to put pressure on the mark, but he just knocked the ball out of Silvani's hands. That's always going to be a 50-metre penalty. And now a chance to give Carlton back the lead, Silvani. About 15 metres out, straight in front. Should kick it. And he's hooked it a bit. Oh, he's missed. Oh, Jack Silvani, from 15 metres out, straight in front, has missed an absolute sitter. That's a shocker. Just leaned back on it, Silvani. Didn't kick through the ball. I don't know why players don't do that. It's not like you have to go get the ball later. And it's a behind. So now Stocker from the back, kicks it long, down to the wing. Great play, great read there from Filippo. Gets the ball out wide to Crouch. Now Hill, if he gathers, he can go. Tries to run past Sam Walsh. Doesn't actually get past him too far. Does get the handball away to Filippo. Now Crouch, little check side kick inside. Not the best kick though. And now Carlton will come through the back. Great kick from Chera towards the forward 50. Curnow drops an absolute sitter. Umpire paid it though. No, play on's the call. Try to fool the umpire. Now Chinchotta gets to the ball, kicks it inside the 450 with a great kick long. Up goes Durden, but great mark there at the back there for Mason Wood. Did well there, Mason Wood. He's been in career best form, as we've said, throughout the game so far. And he did brilliantly there to get back and help his defence. He goes in short and fights Hunter Clark. Very good start to the game, Hunter Clark. Been a little bit quiet since then. So a long kick down the wing. Newman gets onto it. Filippo, great pressure on Charlie Curnow. Tackles him nicely. It'll be a ball up. On the wing, on the commentary wing side. Great pressure from the Saints at the moment. So back in the ruck again. Young and Owens. Owens gets the knockdown. Filippo is playing in the middle at the moment. Gets taken high. And he'll get the free kick. So Hewitt gives away the free kick to Filippo. And it quickly gives off the handball. Off to Brad Hill. So Hill has some space, has some time. Kicks it long towards the forward 50, one-on-one with Membry. Can't take the mark. Gets to ground. Kennedy almost dove on top of it. Now gives out the handball. Gresham. Sinclair from the pocket. Kicks it in short. And finds Zane Cordy. Brilliant footy from the Saints. And a chance for the first time since the first quarter to kick multiple goals in this game. Great work from Jack Sinclair. Was brilliant last year at halfback. Has played a little bit of midfield time this year. A lot of halfback as well. He's went into the middle in this second half. And he started brilliantly. Great kick in the end. He could have blazed at goal. But saw Zane Cordy in short. And a chance to kick his first of the game. Zane Cordy. He comes in. Kicks towards goal. And kicks a brilliant one for the Saints. First time since the first quarter we've seen multiple goals kicked by a team. And it is Zane Cordy who kicks a brilliant goal for the Saints. So St Kilda take a 7-point lead. In the other game right now, Gold Coast lead 14-7. So a 7-point lead in that game as well. So St Kilda take a 7-point lead. The highest lead in this game so far has actually been 8 points to Carlton. So it may not seem like a big lead, but in the state of this game, it actually is. In the ruck again, Lewis Young gets down the tap nicely to Cripps. Now Hewitt out the back. Good play from Filippo, but takes him high. Umpire doesn't pay it. And now the kick inside the 450 from Steele. Almost marked by Zane Cordy again. Newman does well, gives out the handball to Wiedering, and now Kennedy. Carlton just have a little bit of space to work with now, but St Kilda with great pressure. Brad Hill does nicely to cause almost a turnover. So Kennedy just sockers it off the ground. It's a turnover now. Owens kicks it inside the forward 50. Not the best kick. Looks like Wiedering will get onto it. Can't take the mark though. Higgins keeps his feet. Gives the handball over the top to Gresham. He's got a player inside the goal square. I think St Kilda have given away the free kick though. So they have. That's unfortunate for the Saints. They could have taken a massive lead there. That's big for the Saints. So a free kick will be going to Jacob Wiedering. He's in the back pocket. Kicks it long down the wing. Owens goes up, can't take the mark. Patton almost taken high. Drops it though. Great tackle there from Motlop. Owens gets tackled well by 3 Carlton players. It'll be a ball up. It's true centre wing on the commentary side here. 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Carlton have dominated so much of this game in terms of a lot of the statistics, but not on the scoreboard. St Kilda have just been able to play as a team and have just competed in this game so well, and now they're taking a little bit of reward for it. So many injuries on the sidelines for the Saints, but they haven't used that as an excuse. They've played brilliantly so far this year. So now on the wing, on the attacking side for the Saints in the ruck, Marshall gets a good fist down. Straight down to Sinclair, who goes in short. Great kick! Finds Zane Cordy. Great play from the Saints. And Jack Sinclair may be a regular in this midfield group for the Saints throughout the rest of the year. Great tap from Marshall. Straight down to Sinclair. Short little kick finds Zane Cordy again. Zane Cordy would be loving the mullet flowing through inside the middle of the ground right now. It could be a chance to kick his second goal. Zane Cordy doesn't kick many goals, even though he has played a lot of forward so far this year. He's kicked 4 straight from set shots this year, Zane Cordy. Kicks towards goal now, fades towards the left, won't make the distance, and Pinnet will thump it through for a behind. So an 8-point lead to the Saints now. Newman will take the kick in here for Carlton. Hasn't got too many options, so he just has to go in short and finds McGovern. And he goes long. Nice little kick over the top, and he finds Sam Walsh. Been a little bit quieter in this third quarter. Still a lot of time to go in it, though. Finds Hewitt on the lead with a nice little kick. He's actually got Sam Walsh on the handball, but decides to kick it. Looks like they're going to switch the play at Carlton, and they caused a lot of trouble for St Kilda in this first half doing this. But they have to move it quickly. Newman doesn't have many options, so he just goes and finds Ed Kerno, who gave him a nice little option there. The Kerno called to play on, kicks it in short. He finds Hollins. In fact, it's Fisher. He goes in short and he finds Mackay. This could be 50 here against Dougal Howard. Oh, he got lucky there. So now Dougal Howard, true centre wing on the outer side. Harry Mackay goes in short. Little short kicking here. Oh, that could be 50. Oh, he got a bit lucky there. So Kennedy takes the mark. Got a little bit lucky there, Butler, not to give away 50. But Carlton just working it short around the ground. Back to Fisher. He's got Chera on the lead on the outside. He may be time to bring it long now that Mackay leads. He actually goes in short again. He finds Walsh. So Walsh just finding a lot of balls so far. He's trying to rack up a few more in this third quarter. Hasn't had too much so far in the third. But now Chera. Long kick inside the forward 50 into the goal square. Almost found a free man. Oh, great mark from Mackay. Threw up his left hand and takes a brilliant mark. Harry Mackay just rips it out from the sky and takes a brilliant mark. And a chance now to bring it back to 2 points. And Carlton kind of need this one. So Harry Mackay, Coleman medalist in 2021. Chance to kick his second. Comes around the body. It looks okay. It's at the post. Harry Mackay should have kicked that. And another behind to the Carlton. Will they rue to miss these chances in this game? Harry Mackay causes the turnover here, and Carlton will have another chance to kick another one. Harry Mackay around the body. He's hit the belly of the ball, and it's gone straight up in the air. It's a shocking kick. Up goes Marshall, causes the spoil, does nicely. Ross gets taken almost without it. In fact, he gets taken in the back. So a free kick to Seb Ross. He goes immediately. Great kick. He finds Mason Wood raking left foot. Decides to give off the handball to Higgins. He's got a player inside and Butler, but decides to kick it longer. Long kick up to Hill and a 2-on-1. She does nicely to bring it to ground. Goes taken though Newman. Wiedering and now Chin Shotter does nicely. Gives off the handball to Walsh. Now they're working through the back half here. Carlton nicely. Cowan goes in short to Fisher, who can't take the mark. Plays for the high one. Doesn't get it. Wanganeen Malira gets a short kick into Hill, who takes a good mark. He's got Mason Wood on the left. He gives it to him. Wood, you can back him from here. Kicks it to the top of the square. 2-on-2. Cordy and Burns can't go up. Hollins does well to bring it to ground. He's get pressured by two Saints. Burns does nicely to give off the handball. Cordy can't get down. McGovern just should fumble it over nicely and does. This game's building up a lot of pressure now. St Kilda are definitely taking the third quarter points at the moment. They have a 7-point lead and have it inside their forward 50. So now back in the ruck again. Membry can't bring it down. Filippo does nicely. Gets out the handball to Membry. Pitternet tackles him well. Ross tries to stick his head under it. Can't get a high one. It'll be a ball up again. Gold Coast currently lead by 20 points at the moment against North Melbourne. 27-7 in the other game. So back in the ruck. Pitternet knocks it down. Still tries to get the handball out. And actually does in the end. Does well. Ross only has a left boot. Can't gather it. It'll be out of bounds. In the other game today, the Crows won by 3 points in an absolute thriller down in Launceston. Great game of footy. Darcy Fogarty kicked the winner against Hawthorn late. So the umpire will throw it in again. Pidnet knocks it down. Can't gather it there, Walsh. Gets almost taken high place for it. Doesn't get it. Now Ross gives it out to Burns. He's had a pretty good game, Burns. Kicks it inside. Membry's there. Can't take it, though. Butler tries to gather it. Gets tackled by two Blues. And it looks like it'll be a ball up here. So it's a free kick into Butler for holding the ball, and St Kilda didn't have much of the rub of the green in the first half for the free kick count. In fact, I think it was 15-6 a minute ago. But now Cowan's dragged it in, and Butler has a chance to kick St Kilda out by a game-high lead of 13 points. So Dan Butler now. Still 6 minutes to go in the third term. Dan Butler has kicked 2. This will be a chance for his third goal of the game. So now Dan Butler, 45-degree angle, about 35 metres out. He comes on in, kicks towards goal, fades to the left, and holds to the post, and just fades through for a behind. That was pretty big there for the Saints. So Mitch McGovern will kick it out from the back now. Doesn't have too many options, so he just decides to drive it long on the commentary side wing. Up goes Battle, brings it down nicely. Patton, now Hill. You want him to be kicking it inside the forward 50. It's a great kick, and Higgins takes the mark. St Kilda are doing very well in this third quarter. Carlton don't really have many answers for it. Pidneck could not compete, didn't compete much for that at all. In fact, it was Curnow. Had no competition in the air at all. And too easy bringing it back inside, and Higgins, a chance to kick a goal here for the Saints and bring it out to a 14-point lead. If he scores here, it'll actually bring it out to the highest score of the game so far, no matter what he scores. He's been pretty good in front of goal so far this year, Jack Higgins. He holds that left goal post, but it fades in nicely, and Jack Higgins kicks the goal, brings it out to a 14-point lead. They've kicked 3 goals in a row now, the Saints. They're doing brilliantly at the moment. St Kilda now take a game-high 14-point lead at the moment. They're playing brilliant footy here in the third quarter here, St Kilda. So we're in the other game at the moment. Quarter time, Gold Coast have a 19-point lead. Back in the middle now. Tries to get out of there. Steele can't do it. Sinclair tries to dig it out of there. He can't do it either. Be another ball up. So at the moment, there's 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. St Kilda lead by 14. Biggest lead of the game. Back in the ruck again. Pidnet knocks it down. Steele knocks it out nicely. Burns can't get it away too far. Now Akers has some time. Kicks it long. Inside the forward 50 for Carlton. They need one. Wilkie brings it down nicely. Comes through Cripps. He can't get there. Now Hunter Clark tackles him nicely. A bit of ball up. So right on the 50 line here for Carlton. They desperately need one or two more before three-quarter time. Back in the ruck, Pidnet knocks it down nicely. Chera kicks it inside the forward 50 for Carlton. Up goes Silvani. He can't grab it. Comes to ground. He gets it on the ground, though. Gets tackled almost in the back there from Hunter Clark. Umpire calls play on. He drags it back in. And it's holding the ball. And Silvani right now is clutching at his wrist. But the umpire seems not to care. So it's a holding the ball. St Kilda will have the free kick. Long kick out of there from Hunter Clark. Goes towards the wing. Up goes McGovern, can't bring it down. And now St Kilda are on the outer side. He can't get there. Gresham just sockers it off the ground nicely. Long kick actually works. Membry has so much space here. He runs towards the 50. Great kick and finds Dan Butler. And St Kilda are almost ripping it out of the hands of Carlton at the moment. So St Kilda to kick their fourth in a row here in the third term and blow this game out to a 20-point lead, which may not sound like much, but this game has been almost a goal of difference throughout most of the first half. And now St Kilda could take it out to 20 points. Great play there from Gresham, just to soccer it forward, just keep on surging the ball forward. And the ball luckily landed in the hands of Membry, who just found himself all on his own. And St Kilda a chance now to send it out by 20 points from Dan Butler. Straight in front, should kick it, and does! Great finish from Dan Butler. He's got 3. And St Kilda have a massive 20-point lead heading into three-quarter time. Carlton are in a bit of trouble right now. At the moment, St Kilda's highest disposal getter on the ground is Sinclair with 16. That is it. They're really not getting a lot of touches in the game, but hey, that doesn't really matter when you have a lead at the moment. They're dominating this game at the moment, St Kilda. Can Carlton find something here? They can't. They need to, or else they could be blown out of this game very quickly. So back with the clearance now. Carlton do get it. Kicks it out to Honey. He gets onto it nicely. Gives it to Hollins. He has some time and space, but a terrible kick, really. Cripps makes it work, though. Takes a good mark on the outer wing. He can drive it inside the forward 50 now. Paddy Cripps goes long to Mackay. Can't bring it down, though. Marshall on the ground. Has some time. Not that much time, though. Just gets the kick away. Now up goes Newman. He brings it to ground, does nicely. Chinchotta looked very composed in his first game of footy. Hollins back to Chinchotta. He can kick it inside the forward 50. He gets touched off the kick though. Brings it to ground. Steele gets under it. Gets taken high. Umpire doesn't pay it. Pretty rough there. Motlop, good tackle. Slings him to ground though. Got very lucky there. He didn't hit his head on the ground there, Motlop, because that could have been weeks if he did. So brings it to the ground. Harry Mackay can't get there. Burns gets out the handball to Sinclair. Dangerous handball, though. Does well there, Sinclair, to get back the handball. Burns to Stocker. And now Wood has some time. Gives it off to Burns. Great run from the young man. Doesn't have much to go to, though, so he has to work back. Then works forward. Kicks it forward. Great kick. Great mark from Butler. Great work from the Saints at the moment. This is not a mirror image of last week. This is 180 of what they were playing last week. They were over-possessed the ball, St Kilda. This week, they look like the premiership team they want to be. That's a big thing to say, but they're playing great footy at the moment. Not a good kick, though, from Ross. Oh, marks it well, Mangan and Milera. Goes long towards the top of the 50. Great mark. Leads out nicely, Owens. He's got Wilkie out on the 50. This could be a chance for Cal Wilkie to get on the board. He takes it. Doesn't kick many goals, Cal Wilkie, but a chance here to send it out to a 26-point lead going into three-quarter time here, the Saints. So now Owens kicks it into Wilkie. And now a chance to kick a goal here, Wilkie. Doesn't kick many. Last goal he kicked was against Richmond in 2022. Comes out to the left, kicks towards goal and kicked it like a true defender. Lucky to score, goes through for a behind. So in short, he finds Cowan. St. Carlton probably would like one just before three-quarter time, but they don't want to concede one here because the game could almost be gone. Terrible kick, gets it smothered by Higgins. Now knocks it out nicely there, Steele. Goes back in there, counter, try to get it back, but Gresham works well, gives it off to Hunter Clark. He's got a couple of options. He decides to give it out to Jack Steele, who's going to get taken from behind from Akers, does well to get the handball out. Now gets it out there, Burns. Sinclair goes in short with a weird kick. Motlop takes the mark, but a cool play on immediately. Goes long with a weird kick, and it's turned over. Dougal Howard goes immediately. They want another one into the Saints. He drives it long. Inside the forward 50 for the Saints. Up goes Young, who brings it to ground. Taps it forward here for Carlton, and it will be rolling out of bounds. St Kilda, you would think, are the only team who could score late in this third quarter. 13 seconds to go. And they're all over them at the moment, the Saints. They're kicking well. They're playing good football. And Carlton just can't stay with them. Umpire throws it in now. Back in the ruck. Marshall smacks it forward. It's a long hit tap. Just keeps it in. It rolls out in the end. Hunter Clark will be another throw in. 6 seconds to go. Not much time left. Maybe one more chance for St Kilda if they can get a quick clearance inside the forward 50. So the umpire now throws it in. Marshall almost takes it out of the ruck, but Cripps will get the ball. Gets out the handball just, and it looks like the time will run out here for Carlton. And it will in the end. So a 21-point lead heading into three-quarter time here, St Kilda. They've played some brilliant footy in that third term. And they have a great lead now. I'll just bring up the statistics quickly. Shut up. God, I hate these adverts. Alright, there we go. So there are the statistics right now, guys. Yes, it reads all Carlton, but on the scoreboard is where it all matters. But nonetheless, 29 touches at the moment to Paddy Cripps, 28 to Walsh, 26 to Chera, 23 to Akers, and 21 to Newman. And on the AFL fantasy side, we have Paddy Cripps with the 108, Walsh with the 105, Chera with the 99, Newman with the 94, and rounding out the top 5 is Harry Mackay with the 94 as well. At the moment, though, the scoreboard reads differently on the disposal getters. It doesn't really make a difference. Currently in the other game, second quarter, I think it is now. Let me just quickly check. It is Gold Coast lead by 19 points over North Melbourne, 28 to 9. Sorry. So at the moment, the best player on the ground in terms of fantasy is Lockie Weller, which I'm happy about. He's had 9 touches, 46 at the moment. Highest for North Melbourne is 34 with Aaron Hall. Likes to rack up a lot of touches as he always does. Oh, there he is. So yeah, it's 3/4 time at the moment, guys. Turn the shit off to the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. Alrighty. They get the last 4 goals of the second. 1, 2. Second, last quarter about to start, guys. St Kilda had a brilliant last quarter. Blues are going to have to really fight back. Gilsey. I think they can do it. If they can get the ball forward, I think they're a chance. But they got to kick the ball inside forward 50 a whole lot better than they have been in this game. How you doing anyway today, Gilsey? Probably not that good at the moment, but nonetheless. Ed Kerno has been subbed out for Carlton. Lockie O'Brien has been subbed into the game. And St Kilda, I don't believe have used their sub as of yet. So the umpire will bounce it down again. Fourth quarter is underway. Mason Wood tries to get the ball, can't get there. Fisher has some time, gives off the handball nicely, and now Chera kicks it inside the forward 50. A free kick has been called. And Carlton will be getting the free kick inside the forward 50. For an early start in this last quarter, Silvani will get the free kick. So we've seen a couple of free kicks paid in this game downfield, and it looks like Carlton will be getting an early chance in this last quarter. Silvani has been a little bit wayward. He missed an easy goal in the third quarter, 15 metres out straight in front, missed it. But now Silvani has a chance to kick one here for Carlton. He comes in, 45-degree angle, 20 metres out, kicks towards goal, Silvani, and nails it. Perfect start for Carlton in this last term. Great finish. And Carlton just worked their way back a little bit. Great start for Carlton. Only 30 seconds into the final term, they get one. So an easy goal really in the end of Carlton. Gives away an easy one there, St Kilda. And I think it was Wilkie who gave away the free kick. But Silvani kicks a nice goal from the pocket. And Carlton only down by 15 now. And they haven't been able to kick multiple goals all game, really, Carlton. So they're going to have to do it now. Out of the clearance, does nicely there. Ross kicks it towards the forward 50. Goes back with the flight there, McGovern. Reads it well to gather it, but tackled well from memory. Big ball up. Just inside the forward 50 here for St Kilda. So back again. Up goes the ruck there. Membry does nicely, only as far as Walsh. Oh, bad handball there from Akers. Gets tackled well there from Cripps. Gresham does get the handball out. Hill reads it well, picks it up nicely, breaks out the tackle. Crouch now has the ball and kicks it to the top of the goal square. Should be marked here by Pidnet. And he made it look a little bit difficult, but he did take it in the end, Pidnet. Goes in short and he finds Young. Oh, it's a dangerous kick. Don't know what he was thinking there from Young. He almost turned it over. Now, Butler has time, tries to get it out, gets tackled, does keep it in here, Mason Wood, has some time, gets out the handball to Gresham, quick feed to Jay Gresham, breaks away and kicks it to the top of the goal square, all Carlton here, and Newman takes it. Now Fisher. Now Carlton have got to go here, they got some time, they got a little bit of space. Fisher doesn't have much to go to though, he's playing around with it, he should have gone to the wing, and he didn't in the end, and Newman's just completely turned it over. Shocking kick. Burns over to Ross, now Crouch, has some time and space, kicks it to the top of the goal square, but it's all Carlton. I don't know what St Kilda are thinking there. That's two inside 50s they could have taken their time and found a teammate. They've just bombed it and turned it over. Poor kicking. So now Hollands has the ball in the back pocket, kicks it long down the outer wing, up goes Marshall, he can't bring it down, hasn't had the biggest day today. Durden kicks it down the wing with a great little kick. Curnow does nicely to bring it to ground. Battle has done better in the second half. Now Patton has some time and space, doesn't know what to do with it, just goes back to Ross, and now Clark. So now St Kilda have some time and space, a long kick. Up goes McGovern, terrible spoil. And now they've got all the space in the world, St Kilda. Wood, over to Owens, kicks it towards goal. Owens, has he kicked it? Oh, you bet he has! Owens has kicked a brilliant goal for St Kilda. And they take a massive lead now. Back to 21 points. Owens, the young man, has not even played over 20 games, has kicked a brilliant goal on the run. Chad Warner-like, if you think about it. And a great finish from Owens. Kicks a brilliant goal. Great finish from Owens. St Kilda have a massive lead now. Is it insurmountable? I don't think so. But Carlton just can't get any sort of clearance play at the moment in the middle. And St Kilda just look like the much cleaner team. Mitch McGovern came across to spoil that ball. It was a terrible spoil. Didn't get any purchase on it. And it really cost them a goal. He's going to be a player, this kid, Mitch Owens. But back in the ruck now, Hunter Clark. Looks like Carlton may get a free here. They will. They've got a lot of free kicks today. And they get another one here. So Cherry will get the handball out to Walsh. He kicks it inside the forward 50, 2-on-1. Curnow does well to bring it to ground, but doesn't bring it to any one Carlton player. Terrible tackle there from Durden, but great pressure to keep it in there. Fists it out of there. I think it was Marshall. No, that's Marshall with a tackle on Walsh. He should be gone just for that great tackle, and he is. The big man, Rowan Marshall, that's inspirational. Tackling the little man is Sam Walsh. The kick wasn't that inspirational. It was a turnover. Well, it was, and it was out of bounds. The great tackle there from Marshall. You would have thought he was just going to break past him there, Walsh. But Marshall was like, I've got you covered, mate. And took him to the ground holding the ball. So back in the ruck again. Marshall may not have had the biggest day today, but he's definitely had his moments and he's done brilliantly. So St Kilda will get the free kick here to Rowan Marshall. In the ruck. Unfortunate there for Pitnet. I think he got a little bit unlucky there, but it'll be a free kick. So Marshall will get the free kick. And he kicks it long. Down towards the forward 50. Only as far as Young, we can't take it though. Owens on the ground. He's been inspirational in this fourth quarter. Brad Hill breaks past three players. Gives it off to Membry. This could almost shut the door on the game. Tim Membry's missed. Should have really kicked it there, Tim Membry. He had a chance. He's missed a couple today. His first game back of injury for the year, but probably should have kicked that one. 22-point lead there for St Kilda. Kennedy will take the kick in, goes in short. Not a bad play, finds McGovern. Now Fisher works on the outer side to great mark there from Mackay. So at the moment, Gold Coast lead by 14 points over North Melbourne, and Dougal Howard's given away a stupid 50-metre penalty. He was called back multiple times and he wouldn't do it. And now Mackay has a chance to go inside the forward 50. And St Kilda, they can't just let easy goals go through here. Mackay goes in short and he finds Fisher. Mackay could easily get on the end of this here. Oh, Fisher's going to get taken down. No, he doesn't. Gets away the kick just. Goes to the top of the goal square. Marshall goes up. Can't mark it though. Durden, good pressure there. Great pressure again from Durden. Now Marshall tries to get the kick away. He does, only as far as Hunter Clark's back. Mason Wood does want to get out the handball. Clark can't gather. Hollands gets slung to ground. It'll be a ball in. Carlton have to get a goal here. There's still 16 minutes to go, so there's still heaps of time. But they have not looked likely a lot of this game today to get multiple goals. So the umpire throws it in now. Mackay and Marshall in the ruck. Marshall knocks it down only as far as Walsh. He gives that to Chera. Chera with a terrible handball to the feet of Hollands. He did well to gather it. And he tackles him from behind. And it'll be another ball up. About 40 metres out from goal here. So Marshall gets thrown out of it. Umpire calls play on. Cripps gets away, just taken to ground. Almost without it. Hollands tackles Clark nicely. And he's going to be almost pinned. Now Owens gets it away. Patton gets tackled nicely. It'll be a ball up. So currently in 2023, St Kilda's highest score they've conceded is 74 points. If Carlton are going to win this game, they're going to have to get 80 at least, or 81. So they're going to have to beat that score. So gets out the kick nice, gets out the handball there. Chinchota could get tackled, does get the handball away just. Did well. Now Newman back to Young. They're working backwards here though, Carlton. All the way back here from Chera to Wiedering. They're all the way back at the centre of the ground now. And great tackle there, that could be high. Young didn't get it. Chinchota has time, kicks it inside the forward 50. Could be downfield, umpire doesn't call it. Long to Kerno, can't get there, Silvani. Now Mackay tries to get the handball. Great pressure there from Howard. Great tackle on Silvani. No, it wasn't. Takes him high. And Silvani kicked the first to the last here. And a chance to bring it back to 16 points. Well, a right foot around the body here from Jack Silvani. You give him every chance. He's usually a pretty good kick. Blood will be against Cal Wilkie. That's actually pretty big. They're going to have to get him back on the field pretty quickly here. Silvani just got taken too high there, and it'll be a free kick. So now a chance for Carlton. Silvani. This will be a brilliant kick from here. Should be pre-regulation, to be honest. It's around the body on the right, so it's not the hardest kick, but... Silvani. Around the body. Snaps towards goal. It's too skinny. Another point to Carlton. They've missed a lot of opportunities in this game. Back to 21 points. Wanganeen-Milleri takes it out from the back. Kicks it in short and he finds Sinclair. He goes in short and finds Dougal Howard. So St Kilda could easily take a couple of minutes off the clock here. If they just go in short and find a couple of free men. He goes in and finds Stocker now. Been a bit quiet in the second half. Stocker had a brilliant first half, in my opinion. So he decides to go long down the wing. Not the best kick. Should have really gone up a little bit more. Philippo couldn't get his hands to it, though. Now Hollands on the wing. Kicks it long down towards the forward 50. Up goes Dougal Howard and takes a brilliant mark. Dougal Howard can't get his boot back on at the moment. Oh, he's taking it off. And now he's kicked it long. He's actually got a pretty good purchase on it considering he had no boot on there. Dougal Howard got about 40 metres on the kick. Hunter Clark with a brilliant handball out to Burns. Now Gresham, nice little underhand handball back to Burns. Long kick down towards the forward 50. Up goes Wiedering and thumps it out of bounds. Dougal Howard still hasn't got his boot back on here. So umpire throws it back in to Cripps, who almost threw that out. In fact, he has thrown it. Great decision from the umpire. It looked like he threw it, and it was definitely there. Marshall will get the free kick here. He's done brilliantly on the defensive side of this last quarter here, Marshall. Drives it inside the forward 50. Goes out the back. Owens is there, but Akers is there first. Back to Newman. Cool in a hot situation. Great kick finds Lockie O'Brien. Hardly been seen in this game since he came on in this last quarter, Lockie O'Brien. Played on there. Still has played on. No one's going towards him, so he has all the time in the world. Looks like they're going to switch it here, Carlton, to Akers. Now Akers goes long down towards the wing on the commentary side. Cripps can't take the mark. Does well there, Steele. Cripps on the ground, gets tackled nicely. Through that as well. Now, great handball out there from Hill to Steele. Now Marshall. Oh, feigns the kick. He's beaten Walsh twice. Goes inside the forward 50 with a terrible kick, though. And McGovern takes the mark. So the score in the other game at the moment, 21-point lead to Gold Coast, 42-21. So now, Wiedering goes in short. He finds Young. Young off to Kennedy. 12 minutes to go in this game. If Carlton want to win this one, they've got to go now. Still have no options, though. He goes in short to Lockie O'Brien. So now O'Brien goes long down the wing, then kicked it on the full. That's not good enough footy there from Lockie O'Brien. If he wants to find himself a spot in this side, he's got to play better than that. It's a shocking kick. So now Patton has all the time in the world to go long. Kicks it towards the top of the goal square. Up goes Wiedering, but great mark from Young at the back. So now Young with the football. Goes long with the kick. Great mark from Silvani in the end. He kicks it in short. Great kick. And now they're away. Here's Carlton. Walsh. They just again have no one up forward to go to. So Walsh has to go back. Play on to the call. Now a long kick here inside the middle of the ground. It's a dangerous one. Great mark from Hewitt. Oh no, he didn't mark it, but he kept his feet. Gives it off to Chinchot. He's going to take it down from behind. Jaggy Higgins, great tackle. And the Saints are away. They want to put it on the killing blow. Filippo kicks it inside. Not the best kick. He's got to work in hard aggression. Great work there from Akers. Has some time, but not that much time. Just gets away the handball. Now Wiedering out wide. He finds Lockie O'Brien. So now Walsh has some time and space on the outer wing. Kicks it out to Curnow, who gets held. That should be a free kick and is. So Curnow has the free kick now on the outer wing. If Carlton want to get back into this one, they have to get some goals now. Zane Cordy has been subbed out here for Marcus Windhager. So they get a little bit more run here, the Saints. In short to Chera, who does well to get the ball. Now Akers. He kicks it towards the top of the goal square now. Who's going to get up here for Carlton? Up goes Mackay. Can't bring it down. Out the back almost. Windhager now just came on. Has to get onto the ball. Hollins does well. Handles it inside to Hewitt, who gets tackled well by Brad Hill. And now Hollins, that was out of bounds. Oh, he almost kept that in there, Ollie Hollins. Definitely out of bounds. Good call from the boundary umpire. So we throw in just in the forward pocket here for Carlton. They need to get one from this play. In the ruck. Pitnet knocks it down. Motlop can't gather it though. Does well there, Chera. Hollins has time and space and he's wasted it. He's kicked that directly on the full. Poor play there from Carlton. It's 15-point lead now to the Gold Coast. Goes in short and he finds Brad Crouch. Hasn't got too many options though, Crouch, so decides now to bomb it long down the wing. A few players up there. Pidnet's probably the biggest one. He can't bring it down though. Now on the ground, up goes Chinchota, does well. Handballs it backwards to Wiedering. Now Kennedy has some time and space. In short kick nicely to Hollins. Oh, he's dropped it there, Hollins. That was terrible play. He's got to do better than that. Now Ross over the top and marked it well there. It looks like Marshall. Great mark from Marshall. He's definitely came to this game in the last quarter, Rowan Marshall. And he'll get 50. And Matthew Kennedy's given away 50 metres, and will that be that costly? It could be. Marshall just won't be in line here. I think he's about 55 out. So now Rowan Marshall. He looks like he's lining up for goal here. He's a long way out. He's a pretty big kick though, Rowan Marshall. He did kick one earlier in the game. It was a lot closer than this. So Rowan Marshall to kick his second. Comes out to the right. Gives it a bit of a roost. It Goes pretty close to goal. It will just fade to the left. He actually got the distance pretty well there, Rowan Marshall. But it's just another behind. So now Akers has the football. He goes in short and finds Fisher. Carlton have just got to keep on going here. They're going way too slow in this game of football. Goes in short and he finds Hewitt. Straight handball, straight to Fisher. Good play from Hewitt. Now Fisher goes out wide. And it's a terrible kick. And Durden just couldn't take the mark. It'll be a free kick to Jack Steele. Goes in short and he finds Stocker. And Stocker wants to switch the play. St Kilda still haven't put out the knockout blow just yet, but they've definitely been the better of the two teams in this last quarter. Battle goes over the top and finds Patton. Good mark. Doesn't have to go too quick here. St Kilda, he goes over the top. Nice little kick. St Kilda working it nicely. Filippo takes the mark. He has some time. Goes long towards the forward 50. Couple of tall men for St Kilda and for Carlton. Walsh gets out the handball. That's to Akers. Back to Walsh. He's been brilliant today, Sam Walsh. Definitely best for Carlton. Goes long. Good kick. Finds Mackay. Worked a lot up the ground today, Mackay. Chinchotta. Now to Walsh again. Goes long towards the wing. It's not the best kick. That kick towards the forward half has been terrible from Carlton today. And it'll be another ball in. 8 minutes to go on the commentary side wing. Carlton are in all sorts at the moment. So umpire throws it in now. In the ruck, Owens does well. Can't get it out. Winnehager does nicely. Gives off the handball to Ross, who kicks it forward. Does well in the end to read that there, Chera. Gives out the handball, though. Great read there from Akers. Now a nice handball off to Walsh. Young. Chera. Walsh again. He's everywhere in this game. He may be the only one who could get this team home. Kicks it long. Not a best kick. He'll roll out of bounds. So back in the ruck again. Just grabs it out of their pit net. Threw that out there, Cripps. Umpire doesn't call for it. In fact, he does. They've called a lot against Cripps today, and I don't mind it. They've been tackling of St Kilda has been brilliant today. So a long kick from Steele, long to Owens. He can't get onto it, so Newman will get out the back. Gives out the handball to Pitton. He just taps it down nicely. Does well to Hewitt. Now Akers. They have some time and space here, Carlton. They need to work it through. Silvani gets chased well there from Stocker. Almost pushed in the back. Umpire doesn't call for it. Honey's got to work here. Doesn't get the ball. Burns. Gives off the handball to Sinclair. Now Sinclair kicks in the middle of the ground. They're away here, St Kilda. Gresham just tells his teammates to wait, which isn't a bad choice, to be honest. It goes over the top to Hunter Clark. 60 metres out from goal, St Kilda. They can put the knockout blow on Carlton right now. He kicks it to the top of the goal square. Got a couple of tall options. Membry can't bring it down. Winhager off the ground. Can't soccer it through. And a roll out of bounds. Oh, Winhager will get the free kick. Akers has accidentally knocked off his boot. And Winhager will have the free kick in the forward pocket. This will be the knockout blow. The sub in Winhager has been pretty good since he came on. And now Marcus Winhager had a brilliant year last year. Chance to kick his first tonight. Snaps towards goal. He's missed. Hits the post. So 23-point lead to St Kilda at the moment. There's still a little bit of time to go, but Carlton have got to start scoring, and they just don't look likely today. Cherry goes long towards the middle of the ground. Up goes Pidnet, couldn't bring it down. Does nicely there, Wangani Malera holds onto it and then almost threw it out. Now Clark gets tackled, that's the throw. Umpire doesn't call it. Cripps gets a little bit unlucky there, knocks it out nicely. Chinchotta, he should keep his spot next week. He's had a brilliant game for Carlton. Now Kerno has some time and space, kicks it towards the forward 50, but St Kilda read that perfectly. And Battle takes the mark. So now Battle, I don't know what he's doing, but he eventually gets it off. Half time in the other game, by the way. Gold Coast lead by 21 points, 48-27. So now Windhager has the ball. On the back flank here for St Kilda. Drives it long down the wing. Got a couple of tall options. Up goes Filippo. Can't bring it down. Now the kick goes, punch forward there from Ross is brilliant to Higgins. Not the best handball though from Higgins. Has to work back onto it there. Clark does nicely. And Ross has time and space. Kicks it in short. Not the best kick. Hit the ground it looked like. No, Sinclair did nicely to bring it to his hands. So now works it across the ground here. Sinclair to find Howard. Dougal Howard has the ball now. So Dougal works it across the ground. Wilkie and Mason Wood just working out who's going to grab it. He goes in short and he finds Patton. St Kilda, 5 minutes to go in this game, lead by just under 4 goals. So Carlton want to win it. They need to kick 4 straight. They've kicked 8 for the game, and the average that Carlton the highest score that St Kilda have conceded this year is 74 points, which was last week against Collingwood. So a long kick towards the top of the 50. Filippo can't bring it down. Chera gets tackled well. Just gets out the handball to Newman. Now Newman drives it long. Good mark there from Paddy Cripps. He's got to go. He kicks it inside to Honey. He's got to take this and go. Good mark there from Honey. Been pretty quiet today. He's got some time. He's got some space. He kicks it long. Curnow. Still good sport there from Battle, but Hewitt gets the ball. Gives it off to Hollands. Carlton have got a score here. Sees the lead of Harry Mackay. Oh, great play there from Patton to come across and just put a little bit of pressure on. And now Wilkie goes in short and he finds Patton. So now it's a turnover though. Carlton get it back. Charlie Curnow has the football. He goes in short. And he finds Josh Honey on the ball. So just under 4 minutes to go. This basically has to be a goal. So Josh Honey to kick his first of the game. Let's kick it from the 50-metre line. Looks pretty good. Stays a little bit to the left. Won't make the distance and spoiled through by St Kilda's defence, who've been gallant back there today. So Battle has the ball now in the back pocket. Only 3 minutes to go. So you'd almost say now that St Kilda have got this game wrapped up. They've played brilliant footy in this second half especially. And they've just been able to dominate. They've almost been able to worry Carlton out of a lot of this football. The Carlton use inside the 450 has been pretty woeful, but they've done well here. Honey to Chera. Kicks it towards the goal square. And another terrible kick and a terrible turnover. Battle gets the ball. He kicks it to Steele. Captain of the side. Doesn't have many options, but doesn't have to do much with it. Just has to take him a lot of time off the clock. He goes in short. Great kick in the end. Finds Wilkie. Take all the time in the world now, St Kilda. Long down the wing here. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this game. Up goes Marshall. Good sport from behind from Wiedering. Brings it to ground. Does well there in the end, Patton, I think it was. Off to Clark with the tap on. Now Clark goes long with the kick. Mac Murbury out the back. Can't mark it, but brings it to ground nicely. Over to Higgins. Can he ice it for the Saints? Not a good kick. And in the goal square! He still hasn't taken a through here, Lockie O'Brien. Oh, just able to hold it. Does nicely here, Curnow. Takes to the mark and immediately goes. St. Carlton are on the move now. Silvani should give it back to Curnow, and he does. Not the best handball, but Curnow does nicely to gather it. Over the top to Durden. Curnow's got to keep going here. He still doesn't. Curnow goes short. Nice little kick. Finds Honey in the end. He's found a few touches in this second half. Sorry, in this last quarter. So a big game next week for St Kilda against Port Adelaide, who are pretty informed themselves. Long kick to the top of the goal square. Owens can't mark it. Steele just clears it out of there. Long kick up to Wanganeen-Malera. Couldn't mark it, though. Now Akers over to Hewitt. Short little kick. Finds Harry Mackay, who drops an absolute sitter. That should have been a chest mark. And Wilkie should have got a free kick. Motlop, that was out of bounds. Umpire doesn't call it, though. Over the top, Cripps. Motlop's got time. Great tackle from Owens. Brilliant footy from St Kilda today. They've 100% deserved this win. And despite a slip-up last week against Collingwood, which was a 6-point loss in the end of all things, even though I don't think they play that well, they definitely found some footy today to play brilliant footy. Long kick from Cripps. It's not actually... short kick from Cripps. Mackay tries to claim the mark, didn't get it. So just over a minute to go in this game. St Kilda have played brilliant footy today. Marshall tries to knock it down only as far as Steele. Now, Crouch can't gather it, rolls out of bounds. Just over a minute to go in this game. So now Akers can't pick it up. Gets pushed in the back almost there. Crouch. Hewitt gets out the handball to Akers. Handballs it inside to Honey. He drops it. That's gone. Umpire doesn't pay it though. Burns gets the kick away. Long outside defensive 50. Matt Kennedy tries to run out of it. Couldn't get there. Now Wiedering gets tackled. Well done there from Membry. Now Chera does nicely to get the ball. McGovern. 40 seconds to go right now, St Kilda. They're just going to let them have a little bit of football. Newman kicks it towards the top of the square. This has been Carlton's game all night. It hasn't worked at all. Motlop tries to tackle Dougal Howard to be a ball up. So Marshall knocks it down. Gets tackled without it there. Burns sockers it towards goal. Battle. Gets it nicely. Now Wood over to Sinclair. Probably been one of St Kilda's best today. Kicks it wide. Great kick. Finds Butler. So now Butler has the ball. Second stick down. Chinchota couldn't mark it. At the back, we'll get to Hollins. He gives it out to Chera. In fact, it's Wiedering it out to Chera. And the siren will sound. St Kilda 5-1. Top of the table. Brilliant footy they've played this season. St Kilda deserve to be on top of the table at the moment. They win by 22 points. Yeah, guys, great win from St Kilda in the end. They dominated in the second half, and they take home a massive win. Top of the table, Saints, and next week against Port Adelaide, it's going to be a big one. But thanks for watching today, guys. Podcast will be out on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, so make sure to check that one out. But thanks for watching, and for now, we'll catch you